Hey guys, thanks for being here. Tonight, the Wayne Gretzky 1979 OPC Rookie Card is up for sale on Heritage Auctions. As far as I know, one of these hasn't sold since 2016, and that one went for $612,000. So it's a big night for sports cards. This could potentially be the first hockey card to sell for over $1 million. And right now it's at 912,500. So as of right now at 10 p.m., the standard bidding has ended and the extended bidding starts. So what the extended bidding is people can make bids, and if it goes for 30 minutes without a new bid, then that's it. That's the final bid. But if somebody makes a bid within that 30 minutes, even if it's 29 minutes, 30 seconds, then it's extended, for another 30 minutes. It has to go a full 30 minutes without a bid, and that will close out the bidding for this card. And again, it's the OPC version. It's not the Topps version. Jesse said, wow, I just realized it's $912,000, not $912. Yeah, this is a really rare card in a PSA 10 format, and I'll look that up, just how rare it is. There's the Topps version, and then there's the OPC version, and OPC was basically Canadian Topps. So in the 80s, there's OPC baseball cards, OPC hockey cards. I don't know if there was OPC parallels of basketball and football, but use the same Topps design. The only difference is on the backs of most of the OPC cards, they would be in English and French, as opposed to just English for the Topps cards. And we might go through like the highest value, highest selling hockey cards ever. And both of the Wayne Gretzky PSA 10s, the Topps and the OPC, are on that top 5 list. So yeah, thanks for being here. This is exciting. I don't know what's going to happen. I guess it's already gone up. It's already gone up. So somebody's already submitted a bid within the extended bidding of 925,000, 75,000 away from that 1 million mark. I think we'll get there, but we'll see. This might be over really shortly, and it might take a while. So anything you all would like to look up, or any questions you might have, or anything you'd like to go through, feel free to ask. Let me know how things are going, just anything. Is that the only one for really expensive cards, the 30-minute? Is that only done for really expensive cards? No, I don't. This lot is it's done for every lot in this auction. So if we go to this auction, this is, I would say, this is definitely the most expensive card in this auction. But there are others. There are several Gretzky's. Here's a near mint 8 that's at 11,500 now. A near mint 7 at 4,300. A complete set that's at 67.50 at the moment, and we could look at some others too. Just look at this auction. These auctions are really interesting. I've never bought anything. Here's a sealed box of 1979 Topps, not the OPC, but the Topps version. Unopened wax box, and if you ever see these like black diamond cellophane around a box, that's from Baseball Card Exchange, BBCE. And what they do is somebody will send them a case of cards. I think they take boxes too if they're unopened, but they certify that these are unopened. And so if it's from a sealed case, which is more important to people, then they will certify this is an unopened box from a sealed case. And so it's just kind of another level of authentication when it comes to unopened product. So if you ever see that, and you will on a lot of vintage stuff, That's what that means. That's been sent to Baseball Card Exchange, and they've certified this is this box is unopened, or it's unopened and it's from a sealed case. Are you a fan of buying and storing sealed wax? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think it's an awesome investment. I don't know. There's a certain point when it becomes a risk. So, like, who was it? One of the other YouTubers that does box breaks bought a box of like 1970, I want to say 1973 OPC baseball, and he bought it through a group break. So he bought it through like his subscribers or his Patreon, probably through his Patreon, and that was an expensive box. It's probably a $12,000 box. So I mean, even if he had 100 people at 120, no, I mean, he had one person bought every pack, and I think there was like 24 or 36 packs in that box. So you figure everybody that's in that break, all 24 or 36 people, are in there for $500 or better. And the gum had soaked up humidity and had ruined like the bottom. There was like 5 cards in a pack, I think 5 or 6. And only the top 2 cards were salvageable. Like the gum had soaked into the bottom 3 cards in every pack, I think. I didn't watch the whole thing, and it ruined all those. Which I mean, that sucks. I mean, I'm sure he felt terrible about that, but what do? I mean, you can't come out of pocket, it's just one of those things that happens. So, and that was a BBCE box, I'm pretty sure. It was unopened, an unopened product. It just so happens that, at some point, it was probably stored in a humid environment or something. I don't know. It didn't get water damage, or it would have shown probably, but probably just in a humid environment. And that gum, just soaked into it. So, I mean, I do think it's a good investment. It's always gone up, and if the price of cards goes up, then the price of the retail product's going to go up. And especially with like vintage stuff, and I think even stuff out of the 90s, some of the more rare stuff, and 80s, I mean, comes a point when the only PSA 10s you can get is out of unopened product. And really, we're pretty much at that point for the 90s and 80s stuff. Like, 90s stuff, you'll still find some stuff that was, put in a sleeve and a top loader and never taken out or something like that. But even in the night, a lot of stuff wasn't taken care of very well. Not as well as people do today, like where they're just sending stuff in directly out of a pack. So that's definitely your best odds of getting like a PSA 10, and graded cards are here to stay, I feel like. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of value there. And you look at like certain vintage products, I mean, there's none left. There's a set 1941 baseball play ball, and a guy found a box, not a complete box, but it was like 20 packs out of a box of 1941 play ball, and it was thought to be the only unopened packs of that set in existence. And I don't remember what those sold for. I'll look them up. Play ball box. Was it not 1941? Wait. Play ball. Let's see. Play ball. Unopened box. Pretty sure. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Hundreds of unopened sports cards packs found in Ant Attic likely to top $1 million. Yeah, 19 of 24 unopened wax packs. Oh, that's 1948 Bowman. So it says play ball on there. 1948 Bowman. But I guess there was a lot of other stuff too. I didn't even know that. 1961 Fleer basketball unopened box of wax packs. Wow. Rookie cards of Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, and Oscar Robinson. Wow. People still find this stuff. A bunch of Mickey Mantle rookies came out of a guy's attic in the 90s that had unopened boxes in 1952 tops. These one-of-one stories are insane. Yeah, they really are. They really are. And like, one day there won't be any more, really. I mean, I really want to hit up some storage auctions. I feel like cards for the last 25 years, up until the last couple, 2 or 3 years, weren't looked at very seriously by most people. You know, were overlooked, especially a lot of stuff from the last 25 years. So I'm just thinking there's got to be a bunch of like LeBron rookies and just different stuff. 2009 tops with Topps Chrome with unopened James Harden rookies and just crazy stuff like that. Stuff that the boxes go for thousands and thousands of dollars. There's got to be a bunch in storage auctions somewhere, but I mean, it's like a needle in a haystack. Like, you probably never find anything like that, but I think it'd be interesting anyways, just to see what you could come up with. I love that stuff. Auctions, storage auctions, flea markets, garage sales. It's my bag. It's my bag. So let's see where we're at. Still at 925,000. And if we go, let's go to PSA here. PSA is hiring card graders. Oh, okay. Well, if you live in the Southern California area and you would like to become a PSA card grader, they're hiring. They probably don't pay very well, and it would probably get old pretty quick if that's all you did all day. But they are hiring. Let's see here. 1979. OPG? Jesse, has my mic been off this whole time? It probably has. Oh well. Hockey. 1979 OPG hockey. So let's see here. Gretzky. So the total population, there are 2 PSA 10s in existence right now, 89 9s, and 742 8s. Gosh, there just aren't very many of these cards, period. Oh, I just started echoing. Hey, Josh Steiner. I must have 2... Okay. All right. Yep. Is that better? I had 2 mics going, so I guess I don't know how that worked. But my regular mic, I don't think it was picking anything up. It must have been a different mic, like from a speaker or my phone or something. So I'm glad there was audio coming through, but I guess there was my regular mic. I don't think it was on. Not much, Josh. We're just hanging out, watching this auction. So 1979 OPC Wayne Gretzky Rookie is up to 925,000 now. And there is a buyer's premium on this. So with the buyer's premium, it's actually $1,110,000 that this person would pay for this card. So, but that wouldn't. I don't think that would be the. Good. I'm glad the audio's fixed. That wouldn't be the official price. $925,000, I think, would be the official price. So, if this was to go above the million, it would be the only hockey card that has ever sold for over $1 million. And the second, like the highest sale to this point in time, I'm pretty sure is the 2016 sale of this same card in a PSA 10 that went for $612,000. So, holy crap, yeah. This would be this would be the first $1 million sale of a hockey card ever, and where we're at right now. So, the regular bidding is over, and I think it stopped. That was the one. I don't know. It was jumping up a lot. It was at like 800,000, and then within the last, like between 9 and 10 o'clock, it went up to. There was like 3 or 4 bids, and it went up to 912 or 900 or 912, and now it's at 925. And this is extended bidding, so people can bid up to the point that it goes 30 minutes without a bid. So when it goes 30 minutes without a bid, then it's sold. But if it goes 29 minutes and 30 seconds and there's a bid, then it's extended. So, I mean, this could go on all night, or it could be over, I don't know how much time is left. I'm surprised it doesn't have a timer, but it doesn't. Huh. Yeah. But then if it goes 30 minutes without a bid, then it's sold. So right now it's at 925. We're going to see if it breaks $1 million. But it's definitely going to be the most anyone's ever paid for a hockey card. It's a record. And we go to PSA. We're looking at. So there's 2 PSA 10 Gretzky's, 89 9s, 742 8s. I think I was seeing an 8 goes for like 12 grand or something like that, is what it was up to. But then, like, we can see the sales. I think it will show the Gretzky sales of these. Even though they're not eBay sales. It doesn't show any other Gretzky sales. It shows one sale of a PSA 10 in 2011 for $94,000 of SCP auction. So this card has gone up 1,000% in the last 10 years, basically. Amazing. Wow. That is just amazing. I don't know what causes that. Like, the market's gone up a lot right now, but in the last 20 years, a PSA 10 Mickey Mantle's gone from 300,000 in 2001, which is the last time one sold. There's only 3 in existence, and the last time a PSA 10 Mantle sold was 2001, and it sold for 275,000. And a PSA 9 just sold for $2 million. Those are valued at somewhere between 10 and 15 million now. So that's gone up 4,000% in the last 20 years. And like, that's a completely different market. What's with this spike in value? Just the overall market. As far as this Wayne Gretzky rookie card, yeah, hockey's pretty conservative, but taking into account, it sold in 2016 for 600,000. It's at $1 million now, so yeah, it's gone up. But let's look at other versions. So like the 9s, there is more of those. Some of these that have qualifiers. So in the last 16 years, the 9s we're right around 25,000, and like I said, there's 48 of those or 98, something like that. 30,000, and then since August of 2019, they've gone from 27,000 up to 75,000. That was on November 11th, something like that. So, compare that to some of the charts for basketball, and it's a steadier incline. Hockey fans are very super loyal, but it's a stable. It's a smaller market. It's kind of a more stable market. It's made up of more collectors and less people speculating just on the prices. But yeah, it's definitely having an incline. You don't see like in basketball this year, we saw a graph that goes straight up. But we're definitely, hold on a second here. I want to move that a little bit better into view. So yeah, we're seeing an increase in hockey. It's going with the market as well. But being that it's just a more stable market, it's just a market made up of a lot more collectors, it's not near as much, as drastic of an increase as what we see in the other markets. And you kind of see that. In baseball as well. Basketball's always just been a more volatile market. People are willing to put more money into basketball, and it changes from game to game. And I really think it's just how exciting a player can be in one single game of basketball or in one single season. James Harden could score 50 points and have 5 ridiculous dunks in one game, or LeBron, could just have 20 super exciting plays in one single game and a buzzer beater, and it could be a playoff, or it's just, I think it just overall, there's more, maybe, you say it's a more exciting game to watch, but I would just say there's more of a potential for the players to be exciting within the game. And I think that leads to a lot of the basketball market volatility. Watching any preseason games? I haven't watched any yet. Are there preseason games on? I've watched some training camp stuff. I've watched some workouts and things like that. Let's see. Oh, tomorrow, preseason. I need to find out. I wonder what these are going to be like. How much time are the Rockets? Let's see who's playing. The Clippers, the Lakers. Like to see that Rockets-Bulls game for sure. I mean the Lakers game too, but I definitely like to see that Rockets-Bulls game. I'd like to see if James Harden even plays. He hasn't been practicing with them because he wasn't quarantined. Let's see. So yeah, they released the preseason schedule. Huh. So games start tomorrow and go through the 19th. Cool. Josh, any words of advice for a young aspiring collector? I get maybe $40 every 2 to 3 months, and I really struggle finding good value with such a low budget. Yeah, no, that would be tough. I would advise you $40 every 2 to 3 months. What would my advice be for a young person, aspiring collector? $40 every 2 to 3 months. Huh. So if I had $40 to spend right now, I would probably, if I only had $40 to spend right now, baseball, football, or basketball, Josh? Or just anything? Or hockey? Or just anything? Like, first of all, if you're young, I would focus on what you like what appeals to you, what cards you like. But also, like, I think you're kind of asking, I want to try to take that money and turn it into more of a budget. Which I don't know. Right now, football and baseball. 1987 Topps Barry Bonds rookies are super cheap. And I really, really think Barry Bonds will make the Hall of Fame this year. If you're wanting to buy new stuff, gosh, Alex Bregman. It just depends. Who do you like? Like, who are your favorite players? Like, what would you buy? Who would you buy, or what would you buy if? What players' cards do you want? Let me put it that way. What players' cards do you want? Jesse, suggestions in general for where to find a decent return on investment? Yeah, if you can find NFL Prism at your local Target, you can sell it for like 3 or 4 times what you buy it for. um, but a decent return on investment at this point, like with basketball just getting ready to start, I like no return on investment's guaranteed. I think Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, as far as for this year, are probably the safest bet for a big return on investment, because I don't think anybody thinks they'll get into the Hall of Fame, but they're not voting on any former players. Like, they're only voting on people who are in their first rounds of ballots this year. And Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens are by far and away have the best career statistics of anyone on that ballot. I think their stuff will still be undervalued leading up to the Hall of Fame voting, because the older crowd doesn't think that they're willing to vote for them, somebody who was a couple people who were so involved in the performance enhancing drug era, in the PED era, the steroid era. But I think they are. Like, I think we've seen that change every year. We've already seen people who were kind of like, they weren't necessarily convicted of using steroids. Like, there was no proof, but everybody knew they were using steroids, and we've already seen people like that. And every year that goes by, it's like, half the guys in America that are over the age of 40 are on some type of testosterone booster, and it's just not that big of a deal anymore. And I really think there's a good chance that Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens will get into the Hall of Fame this year. So, as far as a return on investment, like, when you look at return on investment, you need to look at, like, what's, like, lots of stuff has the potential to go up, but what will, And if you take, 10 modern players and, and half of them go up and half of them go down, then your return on investment isn't that great. If you take something more safe, especially like a retired Hall of Famer, and especially in a rookie card, like it's almost guaranteed to go up. Might not. It's not going to go up 500%, but it's almost guaranteed to go up. It's safer. To add to football and baseball, Indians, Browns, Ohio State alum, particularly guys like Bobby Bradley, Scary Terry, and Chubb. Are you in Ohio, Josh? Senior C, SRC, been picking up Cassius Stanley like a madman. Yeah, I think enjoying the videos, keep up the good work. Thank you, SRC or Senior C. Yeah, Cassius Stanley is just too exciting to pass up on. I mean, if he gets a chance to play in a game, like there's a good chance that he's going to do something impressive and his cards are going to go up. So, good luck on that. I've been picking up Cassius Stanley cards too. You're in Canton. So, you ought to check out my guy. Do you know where... Hold on, let me look it up. Do you know where Card Collector 2 is? Let's see. Hold on a second. Do you know where Grove City, Ohio is? A trip there is all I really want for Christmas. So you know who Card Collector 2 is. Trip there is all I really... That's awesome, dude. That is just great to hear. Like, that's just a really awesome statement. And I hope you get that for Christmas and much more. But yeah, I've talked to Ryan on the phone before. And I've followed him for quite a while. And I just think he's an awesome guy and great for the hobby. And he's a younger guy. He's a lot more up to date on the more modern stuff. I'm a crotchety old man, and I know a lot about vintage stuff, and I know a certain amount about modern stuff. But when it comes to Ohio State stuff, yeah, Ryan's your guy. That's your guy. He also has a web store and he has an eBay store. So let's see what he's got up. He's always putting new stuff on his web store. I know that. Bryce Hoskins, Pujols Auto. And he's got pretty good prices. Shane Bieber, Select Cracked Ice Prism, $30. Gosh, that's cheap. That is cheap. Man. Shane Bieber is good. He is so good. He's a really good pitcher. Let's see what else he's got on here. Bo Jackson. Whoa, auto. Wow, that's cool. Tua. You got a Tua RPA. 1 of 10 for $359. That seems cheap. Jordan Love, college ticket. I mean, that college ticket's kind of a cheaper product, but a Tua Immaculate, I mean, it's raw, but most of those cards are going to be raw because they don't grade well. Most of those thick patch cards. That's a cool patch. It's the Collegiate Gold Bowl patch auto, so that's a special bowl patch. And wow, yeah, that just seems cheap to me compared to like what a lot of his stuff's going for. Like that's probably less than what his Prism. Like if you had a PSA 10 of his base Prism card, it'd probably go for more than that right now. That's the crazy market that we live in, though. Tiki Barber, Gold Standard Auto, Jake Lutton, rookie. I don't know, but he's got an eBay store too where he's got a ton of stuff, so you might check that out too. Just see. Let's see. But yeah. No, I wish I lived. I would definitely take a trip there if I lived closer, and I might still at some point. Because it's not really that far. I'm in Missouri. It's probably like a 6 to 8 hour drive, which for me is not that big a deal. Like I could drive that with my hands behind my back. Yeah. All right, let's see where our auction's at. I gotta maneuver around my camera to close some of my. Still at 925,000. So this might be the end of it. Like it might sell. Oh nope! Whoa, we're over 1 million. Wow! It just hadn't refreshed. Over $1 million. And like I said, it's got to go 30 minutes at that price to stop. SRC, what do you guys think of Jordan Love? Worth investing in? I always go back to overlooked players have a lot more potential than people that are hot. You know, people that are hot are at the top of the market. I definitely think Jordan Love's got potential. I mean, football's tough. I was talking to a guy today about how hard it is for me to recommend football cards because in an average football season there are 50 starting quarterbacks. There are 50 different quarterbacks that start at least one game. And there are 32 football teams. So at some point in time almost over half the teams start a different quarterback than they did at the beginning of the season, whether it's due to injuries or somebody just doesn't play well, and that's quarterbacks, and quarterbacks are kind of the least prone to. I mean, anymore, you know, they're not prone to injury more than a lot of other people necessarily. I mean, they get sacked a lot, whatever. But I think you kind of see what I'm getting at is like. Three quarters of the teams in the NFL start somebody different than their person that started the season, and then you take wide receivers and running backs, and their cards can be hot for the year that they're playing in, but you know, picking up somebody's card in a season in football, Derrick Henry maybe, and there's definitely some opportunity, and I've been looking into that too, is, what could I recommend to people of what I would look at if I was looking at football in the season right now is look at who has the best chance to do well in the playoffs, because the longer a team makes it into the playoffs, the more potential there is for whoever that team's stars are, the more potential it is for them to go up in value. So if it was me, I would try to find that sweet spot of who has the best potential to, really show up in the playoffs, but is also somewhat undervalued or overlooked, right? So, I think Ben Roethlisberger's rookie cards are super underrated. Ben's a tank. Ben's a beast. But I think Jordan Love has as much chances. He has a better chance than a lot of guys. I mean, Jordan Love could be as good as Joe Burrow. We really don't know because, he hasn't got a lot of time. He's probably not, but let me see. Because I haven't looked up. It's just hard for me to recommend football. Football cards are the football card market is completely different It just is. I don't know how else to like explain it. It's tough. So, when will Jordan Love, you know, get a chance to show what he's capable of? 26th pick. There's plenty of guys that pop out and are amazing quarterbacks, you know. But there's plenty of there's more guys that don't. Josh, got to go see you. Thanks for the advice. Sure thing, Josh. Thanks for being here. Excited to see what Jalen Hurts has in him. Same. I'm excited to see what Jalen Hurts does too. I know Skip Bayless is all about him. You know, he thinks that they've got a lot better chance with Jalen Hurts than they did with Carson Wentz, which I agree. You know, try anybody. Try anybody. But that was funny. If y'all don't watch Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless on Undisputed, like I just follow Undisputed on YouTube, and so every time they come out with a new one, you know, I'll just see that as opposed to watching it on ESPN. But they have some great ones. They just did one on Luka today because ESPN came out with their top rankings, and they put Luka is predicted to be the 4th best player in the NBA, and Skip Bayless did not like that. Great point. Football's tough, SRC. It's. I think it's modern football. You look at the guys that have held up. There are very, very few that over the years their cards have held up. You know, I mean, obviously you've got Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice's 1986 tops is worth, you know, $100,000 or something in a PSA 10, but you know, you go through over the last 30 years, like whose cards have value, have held up over time, and there's just not that many. Even Troy Aikman's rookie card doesn't really go for anything, and Troy Aikman was a beast. You know, you got like Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith, and there's some Favre cards, but Favre cards aren't valued that highly. Peyton Manning and you know, Jerry Rice, but there's just, it's a tough game. It's a tough sport, and it's definitely a tough market when it comes to cards. And I kind of have this theory that there's only 16 games in an NFL season, and so people schedule events around football games. So like on Sunday, everybody will get together at somebody's house and they'll have an event, right? They'll watch football together. Whereas like for baseball, except for the playoffs and the World Series, and for basketball, except for the playoffs and the NBA championship, that's not really a thing because there's so many games. It's like you got to be at your friend's house every other night. But with football, that's a thing. And so I think that has something to do with it, that it's more about the experience, and also that memorabilia is a lot bigger deal in football, like jerseys, helmets, balls, but also it's the game itself. Is a lot of injuries, a lot of up and downs. Very few people have extended careers where they put up big numbers. Skip is amazing. Skip is definitely amazing. They're both hilarious. They're hilarious. SRC, I'm in Canada here, so the market is lower compared to you guys in the States. The market is lower for like football, basketball, and baseball cards? Just like you can get cards cheaper? Is that what you mean? I need to go to Canada. I think Hertz will be okay. Yeah, I think Hertz will be okay. What's the stock like over there? Are the shelves always stocked? Yeah, that's a good question. Like, can you get sports cards if you go into like a Target or a Walmart? I don't even know if y'all have Target. I'm assuming you have Walmarts. Maybe you don't, though. I don't know. I don't know. This just became SRC answering a bunch of questions about Canada, which I'm cool with. I'm good with that. Yeah, Canadian road trip. Let's go. Let's go. Still at $1,025,000 on the Gretzky. So we'll see where that ends up at. Hey, Jesse. No, we got a guys that cleans shelves dry like Walmart. Yep, same here. This one Walmart that I go to, it's about an hour away that I go to sometimes. There's two guys that they know the days that the restock reps are going to be there, but they don't know exactly when. So they will show up at 8 in the morning and stay all day until the restock guy. They will just sit there. And Walmart has called the police and tried to kick them out. And the police are like, no, they're not doing anything wrong. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, those two guys will just sit there and wait for the restock guy all day. They know the times they drop off packs and wait for them. Yep. And it'd probably be, I was saying for football cards, well, even like football, if you can get, you mean singles? It's like if you can get NFL Prism right now, that's a pretty good turnaround. Not as high demand, I guess. Man, I wish I could get some Prism. I won't buy it. On the second-hand market, on the secondary market. But if I could get some retail, I definitely would open some. Yeah, my brother has a friend that does restock, and he explained how some people will literally tell these drivers to learn their schedules. I believe it. There is nothing that would surprise me about restock this year. Like, I expect that there's probably guys that try to bribe the restock guys, that harass them, that tail them, that, people say, these employees probably take stuff out the back door. That probably happens. There's a couple bad apples on every tree or whatever. We have Walmart's. Target came but didn't make it. They left. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, you gotta have something better to do than just sit at Walmart all day or tail a restock rep or whatever. It's gotta be something. Yeah, that's everywhere. Yeah, that is everywhere. They take everything they can get and put it up on eBay by the time they get to their car. It's already up on eBay. Which is terrible for the hobby. On the one hand, it's terrible for the hobby. And I think it's wrong. But on the other hand, like, you got 20 blaster boxes of NFL Prism sitting in front of you. If you're going to make $50 a piece on those, so if you don't buy them, you're passing up $1,000. You're basically stepping over $1,000 bill. I understand it from that perspective. I still think it's wrong, but I understand it. Like most people, just when they're faced with that question, they're not going to pass it up. They should make limits at all of those stores. And so anybody at those stores that complains about, they have no control over it, but they should be able to set limits, and they should set limits, whether it's like 2 per customer or what it is, 4 per customer. I've seen at different places, different ones that have set limits. Yeah, Jesse said, bad apples have to be the ones that sell whole unopened sealed boxes of cards. No. Yes and no. I mean, if that's the case, then pretty much every card shop in the country is doing the same thing. Like, I had a card shop owner the other day try to like demonize these resellers that go to these Walmarts and Targets and stuff like that. And I understand, like, it's bad, but then you look around the shop and it's like, well, you bought these 2019 Prism basketball blasters for $20, $15, and you've got that one marked at 300. So, like, hypocrite much? Like, I still say it's wrong, but like, don't call these guys every name in the book when you're doing the exact same thing. You just have a licensed business to do it out of. Like, that might sound kind of cruel, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if this guy's, such a purist about the hobby, then he ought to have his, his 2019 Prism basketball priced at suggested retail price, $20-$30. But he doesn't. So, it's kind of the pot calling the kettle black type thing. Yeah, it's hard to be moral when there's so much possibility. Yeah, it is. It's hard, and it's not like it's illegal or it's like you're not directly hurting anyone, but it's bad for the hobby. And most of these guys honestly probably don't give two craps about sports cards. Like, they just know it's profitable. Moral hierarchies. Yeah. Yeah, like, everybody, for the most part, everybody, regardless of what you do, is out to make a profit in life, Nobody likes the way these guys do it, and neither do I, but, that's just kind of, I just try to provide some perspective, because it's like, it'd be hard to pass up $1,000. Ali, what's happening? What's happening? We're talking about reselling, like people buying up, waiting all day at a Walmart or a Target and buying up every product and then reselling it. Just purchased a Wayne Gretzky card, gonna get it graded. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Looks like an 8.5. What year was it? Like, what card was it, Ali? Yeah, that's the part that sucks. So many people have been sucked in because of the possibility of for profit rather than the sport of collecting. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's just the market we live in. And scared it's fake. Did you buy it off eBay, Ollie? A 79 OPC that looks like an 8.5. It could be a fake. They're out there. Did you buy it off eBay? In a store in London, Ontario. Okay. Yeah. Bought it at a store. So, let's see here. How to tell if a 1979 fake. How to tell if a 1979 OPC is fake. How to spot a fake 1979 1980 OPC Wayne Gretzky Rookie Card. To 2019 National in Chicago, I was asked a question time and time again, what's the most counterfeited card in the hobby? The fake we see the most would be the Michael Jordan. We see counterfeit cards every day, from the most basic and crude homemade fakes to harder to detect fakes coming from around the world. But the type of cards, we see a wide variety of players in sports. If the Jordan Rookies is the most seen fake card, what's the second? And the clear winner is the 1979 OPC Wayne Gretzky. All right. So the OPC version is specified as the second most counterfeit card. because the Topps version doesn't, it doesn't sell for nearly as high. There's a PSA 10 Topps Gretzky 79 going today, and it was at like 300,000 when the OPC was at like 800,000. So it sells for quite a bit less, just because there's more PSA 10 examples, I think. But also because when it comes to hockey, OPC's kind of always been the brand, because it's the Canadian Topps brand. Correct me if I'm wrong, SRC. The store owner says it's not fake. Yeah, I mean, he might, but maybe he doesn't know. I mean, Wayne Rookie Card. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky Rookie Card. 79 OPC. Yeah. Yeah, 79 OPC is Wayne Gretzky's Rookie Card. Spotting a fake. The card stock is one of the first key places to look. OPC contract with Topps print their own version of Topps cards to be sold in Canada. OPC cards were not printed by Topps. Authentic OPC cards were printed on a wider stock in comparison to Topps stock at the same time. OPC cards were also cut in a different manner, where Topps cards were cut using a type of blade. OPC cards were cut using a wire. Oh. As more and more sheets are cut, the edges of the cards become more ragged. Some are ragged to the point to where they look like the cards were torn apart by hand. Oh, that's awesome. The second area to examine is the printing of the image on the card. Surprisingly, some of the counterfeit cards have decent printed image of Gretzky. Some of the cards have backs that are close in appearance to authentic cards. But where the fakes fall is in the printing of the devices of the card's design. With your loop, so if you don't know, I'm just going into a card fake spotting tutorial here. This is a loop. It's a jeweler's loop. So you set that down on the card, get your eye really close to it, and you can see like a really highly magnified version. And if you hold it up to your eye, you look like a really cool villain from like a superhero movie or from like a cartoon. Areas of design are supposed to be solid ink are now made of print dots. When you have an image of an image, there's a loss of quality in the printed image. Areas that are supposed to be solid are now made of print dots. So instead of up here where you see like, if you look in the small fine print on the front, where you see like a solid, almost like it looks like it's painted on. And then you go down here and you zoom in, it's a lot more like pixelated. Like you can tell these are print dots. And that's what they're saying, I guess, is that's one way to spot a fake. See like around the circle here, and then y'all probably can't see this well enough, but let's see, maybe now. Like this circle's a clean round circle, and then if you zoom in on this one, it's like jagged. These edges are jagged, pixelated. You can tell the dots, and on down. Okay, same here. And yeah, same on the borders. The yellow dot. Some people talk about the yellow print flaw found on Gretzky's left shoulder on an authentic Peachy card. The thought was at one point the yellow dot is missing. It's a fake. This is still true for the most part. Most fakes are simply an image of an image, and the yellow dot is lost in the replication. This is not 100% guarantee, though. I have seen a counterfeit OPC version that did have a smaller yellow dot. Well, this is still a good place to look and cannot be relied upon 100%. So, over his left shoulder, there's a yellow dot. I don't see it on that one. But that's not a really clear image either. Huh. I wish I could see where this yellow... Oh, maybe it's right there. Bet I can look it up, though. 1979 OPC Gretzky yellow dot. I enjoy researching this stuff because, yeah, I'm learning. Oh, over his left shoulder. Okay, so the right side of the card over his left shoulder, right there is yellow dot. It's there. I can see it. It's right on his shoulder. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is. I feel like you've already looked into this. So right side for us. Go back to pick. Yeah, right there. Wow. That's awesome. So, sounds like you're probably good in the hood. And if you got a 8.5 for $750, I think an 8.5 goes for that's probably a $30,000 card. Isn't it? I think it is. I think an 8.5 is probably close. Yeah. The most recent one sold for $35,000. Now that's $15,000 more from the one the day before. But with this auction, that should raise the price up a little bit. The snake eyes. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. If that card graded an 8.5, you're sitting pretty on that. You sent it off for grading already? You're assuming it is, but you're saying, from the way it looks to me, it should come back an 8.5. Yeah, for sure. Keep us up to date. Let us know how it goes. Yeah, and my email's on my YouTube, so if at some point you want to send me some pictures, send me some pictures. And if nothing else, if we're in one of these live streams down the road, we can then I can bring it up or whatever, I might use it in a video or something. Tomorrow 2 p.m. you see the grader. Wow. Well, good luck. That'd be huge. That'd be huge. Am I going live tomorrow? No, probably not. Well, probably not. I'll probably go live Saturday. I need to make some actual videos. And so that's probably what I'm going to work on tomorrow. And then Saturday, I'm planning on opening some 92 Topps Archives basketball. So, a little bit of a heads up. So this is 92 Topps Archives. This is the first year of Topps product, and it's like cards of players that were rookies from 1981 to 1991, which seems like kind of a cliche, But these boxes, like I got this box for $65, and then Jordan, you'll get 2 to 3 Jordans out of this, and they go for about $300 in a PSA 10. And then the Barclays also sell pretty well in a PSA 10. I mean, pretty well. They're worth grading in a PSA 10. They sell for like 60 to 80, I think. But I'll probably be breaking this on Saturday on a live stream. And then I had an eBay store, but I wanted to start one for the channel, and so I just started that. And I think I got 2 boxes of these, and I think I'm going to take the other box and pack it out and do like 4 packs for $20 or something, including shipping or something like that. Like, I have to make enough to cover fees and what I paid for it, plus fees, plus shipping, you know. So if I sold 4, I think there's 24 packs in this. So if I could do 4 packs for $20, that'd be 120, which should be enough to cover fees and shipping and what I paid for the box. But anyways, it's stuff like that. Like, that's what the eBay store will be for, is for selling like a lot of the stuff. Well, I mean, it's just stuff I'm selling, but also there'll be a lot of stuff that I cover in my channel and on my videos that I'll put on there. And so, yeah. And then if you all want to look at, like, if you ever want to look stuff up, I'm going to be putting eBay links in pretty much all my videos, because I'm in the eBay partner program now. So if somebody goes through that link, and you could go to anywhere on eBay after that, and if you make a purchase, then a percentage of that would go to me. So that's kind of cool. I didn't know about that. I just found out about that from a really cool kind of YouTube mentor I have now, I guess. And yeah, so something to keep in mind. SRC, I have a buddy that keeps buying Patrick Mahomes, says he is the Tesla Apple stock of cards, long-term investment that can't lose. Any thoughts? Says there is so much room to grow still. I would completely disagree. There is no current player that is a long-term investment that can't lose. I mean, you could make a case for like Drew Brees or Tom Brady, and that's about it, as far as I know. But as far as Patrick Mahomes, no, he could fall off or get injured or something and never have a career that anywhere compares to what he's had for the last 3 years, and that guy would lose a lot of money. And I also don't agree with him. And I did go to grad school for finance. And I've tracked the stock market for years. I also don't agree. Apple stock, yes, not Tesla stock. Like, I don't think Tesla stock is a long-term investment that only goes up and can't lose. I definitely don't think that. I think Elon leverages himself so much in what he does, it could definitely lose. At some point in time. Not that it will, but it could. I mean, it's just a car company. Car companies go out of business all the time. I mean, you know how many car companies there's been in the last 100 years? A bunch. There's been a bunch. And, you know, he gives away all of his patents. So, if anybody, a big car company, they could take his technology and put together a really serious electronic vehicle team, and probably, if they took it seriously and they did it right, they could probably, like, make us like they could become the electric vehicle to want. They just have a lot more pull that way. But yeah, I don't agree with that statement whatsoever. I kind of feel sorry for your buddy because I think he's putting himself at a lot of risk. Hopefully it pays off. I don't want to see anybody do badly in the card market for sure. Except for like there are a few people that are just like blatantly in your face and like wrong about it. Maybe I would like to see them do badly, but that's few and far between. I hope your buddy does well, but I definitely wouldn't agree that Patrick would not agree that Patrick Mahomes is a no lose investment. And I live in Missouri. I'm a Chiefs fan. I've always been a Chiefs fan, but it's just not how the card market works, especially the football card market. His cards are already too expensive. Yeah, I agree. I mean, his cards are at the top of the market, and the market's completely inflated from what it was a year ago, like ridiculously inflated, like 10 times what it was a year ago. And his cards are at the top of the market, so yeah, I would say they're way too expensive right now. Then for a long term investment, I think we're going to see a dramatic change in the next. It depends. It depends on what happens with COVID. But if we go back to business as usual and this vaccine comes through and we have a regular off season in basketball and football, you will see some big sell-offs. The market's going to look a lot different a year from now, or at least 6 to 8 months from now than it does. And that money might move into baseball, but I feel like there's gonna be a big sell-off in basketball and football, and that's why I recommended when Joe Burrow got injured. I told came out of that video and told everybody, sell Joe Burrow now and wait till May and then buy him back, because I think you'll be able to buy him back for a lot less. And when I made that video the same day or a day after he got hurt, a couple days maybe after he got hurt, his cards had dropped like 30%. Well, his PSA 10 Donruss is 50% of Herbert's or less than what it was going for, 50% or less than what it was going for, and so they continue to fall. Well, wait till 3 months after the Super Bowl and nobody cares about football and see where his card prices are. Maybe they'll go up. Maybe the market will keep going up, but yeah, I know. Damn Americans can't learn to put a mask on. I know, it's such an easy thing, and I don't care about anybody's politics or their whatever, but it's just such an easy thing to do. I don't think wearing a mask or not wearing a mask says anything about my freedom. I mean, I still wear shoes into a restaurant because it's a health violation if you don't. You have to wear shoes in a restaurant. So what does it matter if you have to wear a mask in? You don't even have to wear it while you're eating. It sucks if you have to wear it all day at work. That sucks. Yeah, I wouldn't consider Tesla the same as Apple. Now, Apple has a ton of cash money. They've been stocking away actual cash. Not assets, buildings, equipment, copyrights, patents, things like that. Actual cash money. Apple has a bunch of it. And when it comes to a stock, that's what makes a company stable, is having actual liquid assets at their disposal. And Apple has that. And a ridiculous amount. Of cash. Tesla does not. Sir Charles. Oh, SRC stands for Sir Charles. My favorite basketball player. Oh, dude. That's awesome. I love Charles Barkley. I think he's drastically underrated. In the card market. I think in basketball history, he's probably, as a game, he's looked at really well. But, yeah. Sir Charles, buddy. That's awesome. I like that. Dang. Yeah, you lost on Burrow. A lot of people lost on Burrow, dude. And, I mean, it was an interesting risk to reward. Burrow was on track to set a lot of rookie records for a quarterback. So, that sucks. I feel bad for people because there's people that Herbert's the real deal. Yeah, he is until he gets his knee broken in half, like Burrow did. That's just a risk you take in anybody that's in the middle of a season, any season where anybody's an active player, is they might get injured and it might be bad. Sir Charles, I bought a Series 1 hobby box for $125. Canadian hit, Alex Lafreniere, Young Gun. Oh, dude. That's awesome. That's awesome. When does the season start, Sir Charles? I was going to buy, I've had hockey cards, but it's never been something I collected necessarily, and I don't get into it that much on the channel. But I know Alex Lafreniere, Young Gun, your base Young Gun in a PSA 10's is it even, no, just the base Young Gun's what, a $200 card? Is that right? His rookie's over 300? Wait. Yeah, that's a same position in Canada. Bro is a buy low, sell high. Cards are like the stock market, changes all the time. He needs a coach. That's his rookie over 300. Hockey's the best. But there's a pretty big Young Guns set, right? And you get in a hobby box, you get a Young Guns, 3 in a box or something like that. Am I wrong about that? So it would take so it'd take 6 hobby boxes to have, even odds of getting a Lafreniere Young Gun. Is that right? Something along those lines? Yes? Yes, you're correct? Or was that about his rookies over? Wait. Oh, that's about Burrow. 6 in a hobby. There's 6 Young Guns in a hobby. Okay. I don't know how many's in this set. I was thinking it was 20, but it might be more than that. Let's look that up. Upper Deck Hobby. I always go, and if you're ever looking up product, if it's baseball product, I normally go to a site called Baseball Cardpedia. But if it's anything else, I go to Trading Card Database, and I'll show you why. There's also Cardboard Connection. TCDB. But if you go to Trading Card Database, I can go to... Come on. Trading Card Database, and if you go down here, they have checklist, rookies, inserts, and related sets. So I'll go to inserts and related sets. I wonder if Young Guns might be... I don't know if it... Wow, there's a lot of inserts in this. Parallel. Jumbo Young Guns. So Young Guns, I think, is considered part of the regular set. Let's go back here. I saw, if you ever watch Hockey Ice Hits, I think he hit a acetate Young Guns Lafreniere on one of his videos. Oh, wow. Okay, so these are all Young Guns, part of the Young Guns set. 6 to a hobby box. Oh, there's 100. There's 100 Young Guns. No. Wait. Not necessarily. $20, $21, $22. There's close to 100 Young Guns in the set. Probably not in the Series 2 set. There's probably half of that. So if we say, let's say there's 45 in the Series 2 set. This looks about right. So if there's 45 and there's 6, let's say there's 48. So take 8 hobby boxes to have the regular odds of pulling a Lafreniere Young Gun. So that's about 900. You'd have to spend about $940. But you got lucky. And you probably pull a lot of other stuff. What's Connor McDavid's base in 2020 going for? Hockey's huge here in Canada. Oh yeah, yeah, hockey's huge in Canada. Thanks for the tips on the websites. I'll check them out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Young Guns are base, but it's considered the true rookie. They have a huge following and the most desired cards of the series. But there's Young Guns Canvas. Yeah, Young Guns clear cut, high gloss. Yeah, yeah. There's a guy that I've interacted with before on the channel here, and he has a channel, and he does like it's his whole channel's hockey. And I think I'm subscribed to him. Yeah, Open Ice Hits with Scotty 2 Hockey. But I'm pretty sure he hit an acetate clear, like the clear Lafreniere. But he might have opened a bunch of series too. Where was that? I'm pretty sure. Gosh, this guy comes out with a lot of videos. I mean, I do too, but a lot of mine are like I do a live stream and then I edit it and it has to stay up as 2 different videos and then I make an actual video out of it. Now I have 3 videos that came out of the same live stream. So, Hunting Elias. There's series 1. Yeah, but he does a lot of hockey break stuff. Seems like a pretty cool guy. That would be a crazy hit. Yeah, that's probably $1,000 card, I would think. The acetate Lafreniere. I would think it would be probably. Sir Charles, do you watch Linus Tech Tips? I know Linus is in Canada. He's always talking about it. I love that channel. I build computers, and so I watch a lot of tech YouTube stuff to keep up with this scene. Let's see where our. Is it over? Nope. $1,075,000. Still not over. Y'all gonna pull an all-nighter with me? If that's if it takes all night for this auction to close? Oh my gosh. $1,075,000. I'm gonna take a real short break here, guys. You don't have to go anywhere. I'm just going to I am just going to take about a 5-minute break, and I'll just put this on intermission, and then I'll be back. So I'll catch y'all here in just a little bit. Talk amongst yourselves. Hey guys, I'm back. No change yet. This might be the ending bid. It's gone a while at 1,075,000, so we'll see. But right now, with the buyer's premium included, this is 1,290,000 that the buyer will pay for this card. Like, that's just the card, but then the buyer also has to pay the auction house the premium on top of that. So they'll value it probably in the record books as 1,075,000, but it really ought to be 1.29, because that's what the buyer's going to have to pay for the card going through an auction house. Guys, talking about gaming, yeah, earlier this year I played a lot of Warzone and Call of Duty, and then yeah, it was a grind, and it was just frustrating. Like, it was like I loved the game, but I hated playing it because it was so frustrating, the skill-based matchmaking and stuff. And then before that, like the year before that, I was playing a lot of Minecraft. I built a bunch of I was big into technical Minecraft. I built a bunch of farms and redstone stuff. I just started getting into old games and systems. If I find them in garage sales and stuff, price on that stuff has gone up tremendously, especially like the unopened graded. Like, they have game grading now, vintage game grading. So there's like an unopened original Mario Brothers graded, like a high grade, was like 300,000. It was some crazy amount of money. Like, I don't know if it was 100,000 or 300,000, but it was like ridiculous. Good to be back. Good to be back. You love watching Gary Vee? Yeah, I love watching Gary Vee. I think I love watching Gary Vee. There's a lot of stuff he buys at those garage sales that yeah, like it makes money. Most people don't want to spend the time to list a lot of stuff that that he buys, that it does make money, but it might take a long time to sell. And for $10, make $5 after shipping. He always says fast dimes eat slow quarters, and that's true. Like, if you hustle on it, like, you're making money. So that's for sure. Mug life. Yeah, I haven't got into the mugs yet, but he swears by them. Mugs and stuffed animals and all kinds of stuff. Let me see here. What was that? Highest video game sale ever. Highest vintage. Okay, sealed copy of Super Mario Brothers breaks record. July 10th. Mint copy 9.4 of 1985 classic Super Mario Brothers sold for $114,000. Wow. I had a mint copy of this game when I was about 6 years old. And then I opened it and I've played the crap out of it, as well as everyone else. Wow. Oh, wow. What's the deal with cardboard hang tabs? So there's something about this game that made it super rare. Cardboard hang tabs were originally used on the U.S. test market copies of black box games before plastic was used to seal each game. As Nintendo began to further establish the company in the U.S., their packaging was updated. So I have no idea what they're talking about as far as a cardboard hang tab, but apparently this one has one. It makes it super rare. Huh. Interesting. Also sold at Heritage Auction for $114,000, and that included the buyer's premium. So maybe they do. I guess maybe they do go off of the included price with buyer's premium. So far, it's not showing that the Gretzky has officially sold yet. Still at $1,075,000. Do you think those times are over, or will we see Nintendo Switch games sell like this in the future? Maybe. Like, excuse me. You never know. Like, that was the beginning of video games, really, of like at-home video games. So, Gary Vee said he learned this from toy executives who said every 30 years, the children that were using this stuff, playing these games, when they're kids, have grown up and now they have children of their own, and their kids are getting into the same stuff. And so the toy market executives, they spend a lot of money promoting what was popular in the last cycle or that type of thing. And so every 30 years, like, there's a resurgence of certain toys that have just always have been popular for a long time. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's probably a good bet, and definitely like 20 years from now, if cards are super low, I'm going to be buying a bunch of stuff. I found a WWF Jake the Snake thumb wrestler's mint at a garage sale this. Check out what it's going for on eBay. I got mine for a few bucks. It's from the 1980s. $250. Let's see here. Jake the Snake thumb wrestlers. Sold items. This one, Hierophant, great shape. Huh. You had no idea what you were buying? Just look cool? Yeah, I find that a lot of times that, like, over the years, because I've been looking for deals for a long, long time, and buying and reselling stuff for a long time. 20 years. And it's gotten to the point where, like, I just know enough about enough random stuff to where I can see something, even like antiques and stuff, and be like, that looks like it should be have some value. Or maybe that looks like there's a good chance it has value. And then can just, like, look it up from there or whatever. That's awesome, though. Huh. $250. That's crazy. What'd you buy it for? You got it at the garage sale, so you probably bought it for like $1, right? Let's check back with old Wayne Gretzky. Still at $275,000. Gosh, this has to end pretty soon. Or at $1,075,000. It's got to end pretty soon, I would think. It's been up there for a while. That's it. So what'd you pay for it? Did you get it for a quarter? The top one? Yeah. Wow. $265. These two went for 150, but like that one, his forehead's worn off. Same with that one. That's got to be the same one, doesn't it? Or like as a thumb wrestler, do their foreheads just wear out? Yeah, I don't think that one has the same wear out pattern as the other one. And that one, the snake's worn off too. These two that went for 100. But you said yours was mint, so it's got a good forehead on it, I guess. I think that is the same one that was listed twice. Why though? No, it's not. It can't be that. No, that one's not. Is it? Yeah, they're different. They're different. But this one also the same wear pattern, like the nose of the snake and the head's worn. So I'm guessing like it was like something you put on your thumb and then you used it against your friends like in a thumb war, thumb wrestling or something. So that's probably why these are worn the worst. People are constantly hitting them against each other. Thumb wrestler. Huh. $2. Wow. Wow. That's a 125 times return on investment. So like 12,500%. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm gonna have to keep a lookout for Jake the Snake thumb wrestlers. Now that's a good return on investment right there. It's talking about cards. Heck with cards. Let's go look for Jake the Snake thumb wrestlers. I bet that's something you could probably find a bunch of those still too. A lot of that stuff overlooked and undervalued. You know, who's going to look up something like that on eBay? And who's going to find it if they do? Like, you got to find, like, who's going to know if they have that opened to look up Jake the Snake thumb wrestler? I don't know. I don't know if I'd know to search for that. Maybe it says it on it somewhere, but I find that interesting. No change. I feel like this is going to, like, nobody's going to put another bid in. But so far it hasn't ended. It was going up pretty good there for a while. Yeah, this guy, you know, there's nobody that's spending $1 million on this is just going to wait till the last 30 minutes and put in their bid of 1,100,000. I'm just saying crazy what some things can sell for. It's good to know. Knowledge is power. I always like research and trying to see stuff like that. Yeah, same. Same here. I find that really interesting. I had a friend of mine, her mom died, and her mom had this huge Beanie Baby collection. And I took them on for her to sell them, even though I knew they weren't worth anything. I mean, they were worth very little, but she had like 1,000 of them. So I figured, you know, if I could lump them together 50 at a time, you know, and make 20, 30 bucks 20 times, you know, maybe get 400 or 500 out of it and split it between the two of us. But the main thing was I just wanted to learn more about them. And so over the course of like sorting and pricing that whole collection, like I now know enough about Beanie Babies to know what to look for, basically. Know about the market. Yeah, $1 million for the Wayne Gretzky. 1,075,000 is what that is at right now. And this is the extended bidding, so once a bid's put in, anybody else has 30 minutes to put another bid in. If nobody puts a bid in 30 minutes, then it's sold. And this one's been up like this for a while. So I'm guessing they're getting to the 30-minute mark. And actually, there's a certain percentage, I guess like a 25% buyer's premium. So the buyer actually has to pay $1,290,000 for this $1,075,000 card. Yeah, big boy spending. Yeah, I wonder if I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Rally, the site that like does incremental investing of collectibles. So like they buy stuff, like they bought a whole PSA 10 set of first edition Pokemon, and then they valued it at like I think they valued it at 250,000. So they sold 10,000 shares at $25 a piece, and then the value has kind of gone up, but I find that a little bit like, yes, Logic paid 200,000 for a first edition Charizard Holo, but before that, the highest it had ever sold for was like 40 or 50 grand. So to me, like on something like that, there's 275 of those PSA 10 Charizards. Like, for one, it does seem kind of fishy that he would pay that him and somebody else would be willing to pay so much more when there's plenty of them out there. But also, like, just because, I mean, one sale does not necessarily determine the price of something there are so many of. So, like, the Jordans jumped up to over 100,000, but there's been, like, 4 or 5 sales of new subscriber. Thank you, Sean Tieford, for subscribing. Appreciate you. But yeah, but if the next sale and there might have been more Charizards that have sold for over 200,000, but like if it jumped up and so, they were willing to pay 210,000, and then the next time one sold, it only sold for 50, then it's still it's still worth 50 grand, whatever. I mean, the value. But anyways, yeah, Rally buys these collectibles like original signed Mickey Mantle game used bats and Babe Ruth jerseys, and they had the gear shift off the Apollo 11 that landed on the moon. They have some crazy stuff on there that they like parcel out. They basically create a corporation around that collectible, and then they sell them off in as like stocks, basically. And then when they get an offer, then the people that hold the stock of that collectible or whatever, they're allowed to vote on whether to accept that offer or not. And if over half of them vote to accept it, then they accept it and they distribute the price out to the rest of the shareholders or whatever. It's kind of cool. It's an interesting, cool concept. They've got a pair of like game used Zion sneakers on there that they value at 100 grand, and I don't see how that, like, why. I don't see why someone would invest in that. Like Zion's rookie year, he's still, this is just his second year. Like if he doesn't perform or he gets hurt, like those are not worth anywhere near 100 grand. Yeah, I don't know if he is in the chat. I don't think so, but thank you, Sir Charles. I really appreciate that. I'm constantly trying to make, like better quality, more watchable content, and provide the most value I can. Like value's number one, but also like I want to get better at making videos, more entertaining, more higher production value, but making valuable content is number one. Like I want to make content that helps people. I want to see people stay in the hobby for sure. That's number one. And the only way that's going to happen, well, I want to help people stay in, and the more knowledgeable they are, the better of a chance somebody's going to make good decisions when it comes to buying and selling sports cards, and decide they want to do this for a while. So thank you very much. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of work, but I really enjoy it. I actually enjoy it more than anything I've ever done. I was talking about that today. It's something I've never done anything where I will work on it until I am so tired that like I like can't do it anymore to a decent degree. Like I'll be up editing, making a video until I get to the point to where like it's not worth doing, when I could just go to bed and wake up and do it 4 or 5 times as fast and better, and get up and do it as soon as I get up and enjoy it, like the whole, not even think about it. I've never had something like that. So far so good. I mean, I've only had this channel up for a month. I've got over 250 subscribers, and I get a good response, and continuing to try to make better and better content for people. So I think it's gonna, well, I mean, it's going well, and it'll continue to go well, and the better it goes, that's better. I feel like that's better for everybody, because then I can provide more value to the community. And so, yeah. And we appreciate it. You're doing a great, very authentic. Good. I appreciate that. That's I try to, like right now, I'm trying to find my voice in what kind of videos I want to make, and I'm kind of throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks. So I'm making a lot of different types of stuff, different types of videos and things, but yeah, it's tough to come across as like, I think the work that I put into it kind of shows itself that I care about not only the hobby, but also the people, my viewers, because I'm not telling you what you want to hear necessarily. Like, I'm not going to tell you that going out and buying, a Zion-based prism is a good investment, but I'll tell you the risks associated with it, and I'll tell you what makes something a good investment or not. If I come across something that I think is a really good investment, I'm definitely going to let people know. And I think, that's what I want to be known for sure. And I think long term, like there are a ton of people getting into YouTube right now, like specifically within the last couple months since I've started. A ton of new channels popping up, and I mean, you can tell a lot of people, like, they just want to have a YouTube channel, and sports cards is just big right now, or they just want to be a YouTuber basically, and so yeah, or they're just like that, or they just, I don't know. I mean, you can just tell, like, I want to be known for working hard to deliver valuable content. Like, that's the main thing. And the better I can become at like editing and actually making videos, then that's even better. Because I don't want people to have to struggle through my videos to find stuff out. I want it to be watchable. So keep working, see what happens. But I appreciate you all a lot. And it pays for itself. Like, I have to do a lot of research to make content, and in doing a lot of research, like, I learn about a lot of like hidden gems and stuff that has just been completely overlooked, and stuff that I wouldn't find necessarily on my own if I didn't have to do this research to make content. So it's kind of, it's work that pays for itself just in the value of the information that I find out, and the idea that I can give that back to the community, and at some point in time, profit from that, and be able to put that back into the channel and help, in time or in investment into better equipment and stuff like that. Like, that's even better. Yeah, so many aren't trying to grow their channels for the right reason or put in the effort needed to reach that success. Yeah. I mean, you see a lot of copycat stuff, and you'll see like at some of my videos, like, I'm just starting out and I will mimic somebody's like style to try to learn, like, if that's a direction that I want to go. But yeah, a lot of people will just straight up like copy how somebody else that's successful does something. Or you can tell when they're delivering something that they're not really sold on it themselves, and they're just doing it because it's hot, it's what people want to hear. And there's a lot of guys pumping this new product of sports cards and stuff that's just, and that's fine saying I'm buying this, but what they don't tell you is a lot of guys are buying it, and then as soon as that video's over, they're selling it, because it's not a good investment. Anybody that, I wouldn't say it's not, it's a risky investment. And so, and people know that, but they're producing content that gets views and shows people what they want to see. And there's a lot of people in the market right now that have followed this advice and invested so much in this current product, the last few years worth of product, and the hot players and the hot rookies and all that stuff. They've invested so much money that they aren't willing to listen to anything negative, because all they've seen is prices going up, and they can't afford for prices to start going down. So they're not willing to listen to anything that goes against that ridiculous investment that they've made. And I'm not making fun of that, but I want to provide a responsible content, whether it's what's popular or if it goes against the grain, because that's what I pride myself on as a collector, is being a value-based collector. I can give you investment advice, and it's investment advice. It's not calling something an investment when really it's a gamble. And I think in any regular market, if you take any current active young hot player, it's a gamble. It might be, a slot machine returns 90 cents on the dollar. It's I would say, yeah, have fun and prospect on new players and players you think will go up, But my advice is keep 90%, or at least in veterans or Hall of Famers, I would keep 50% in vintage, and then maybe 25 to 35 in vets like James Harden, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, uh, Kyrie, maybe Russell Westbrook. These are guys that have put up numbers that will, excuse me, these are guys that have put up numbers that will outlast them, right? So whatever their popularity is now, they're a lot more likely to have value 5 years from now than somebody that's in their first 3 years in the league, 4 years, whatever, and if if their career goes downhill now, 5 years from now, it'll probably be worth very, very little. So, you don't sell me a pile of sand and tell me it's sugar. I've commented questions on so many videos from small card channels without ever getting a response. Answer back. They just kind of half-ass the video and post it without truly wanting to help others. Yeah, there's gonna cut. Yeah, I didn't know that because I guess I don't comment on a lot of the smaller channels. But like I try to respond to pretty much right now every comment I get, even if they're hateful. Like I'll respond to them. You're going to sleep, Sir Charles. Really enjoyed chatting the video. Have a great night. You too, man. Thanks a lot for being here. I appreciate it. Have a good evening. Thanks. So yeah, there will come a time, hopefully, I think there will, where I won't be able to answer all the comments. I'll still go through and try, but it's important. Even when even when people are hateful, there's a chance that I can kind of get through to them and say, hey, I'm not your enemy. I'm just trying to present a good investment advice. It might not be what you want to hear, but this is what, if you were investing in the stock market, is what, in any decent financial advisor, this is the type of advice they would get. Now, the card market is not the stock market. And for one thing, there's no real value behind sports cards. It's all fiat. It's all based on what people believe something's worth. But a lot of the principles still apply. Diversity, scarcity, in economics, supply and demand. A lot of the principles, just basic financial principles and investing principles, apply to the sports card market as well. And so I think that's my biggest thing, is like, it's really important. If somebody's not coming here to watch me for entertainment, like if they're coming to my channel, they're reaching out, they're looking for advice on who to buy or why to buy or what to buy, and that's my job, is to give them good advice on who to buy or what to buy or how to buy and what to do with your stuff after you have it. That's the value that I create, right? And I'm not going to just tell you what you want to hear just to get views. Like, that's not only is that wrong, but it's also like bad for my channel long term. So that's not how I do things, and that's not how I'm gonna do things. I'm not gonna stand up here and show you a bunch of $10,000 worth of rookie cards that have just as much chance of going down in the next 12 months as they do of going up, because that's a terrible principle to set. And we have so many new people in the market that if they're coming to somebody to learn about sports cards, they need to be told the truth and not just what they want to hear, because they're going to make a lot of bad decisions. And there's a good chance they're just going to walk off and leave, because they're going to say this is a bullshit market, and they're just going to leave. And I hope that doesn't happen, and I'm going to do what I can to make sure that doesn't happen. Because I've done this for a long time, and I've seen a lot of ups and downs. And there's a way to do it and still be able to participate in the current market and protect your investment and make money and all of the other things that go along with the hobby that I think is the best in the world and that I love. And anybody can do that, you know? There's no reason there should be all these people out there giving such bad advice. Like, it's so easy to just have a disclaimer that says, you know, that this is these are risky investments, that there's a gamble that comes with new young players, and this is how you diversify. And it's just a really easy thing to do that people don't do because they don't want to turn off their audience that has, $10,000 worth of cards and Trae Young and Luka and Zion and Ja Morant and they don't want to hear anything about how those cards are going to have the chance of doing anything but go up. Nathan Ulrichs, what's up? What's your biggest loss on an investment you thought would work out? I'll have to think about that. That's tough. I'm really careful about how I spend money. So, I don't have very many big losses. Like, if I was to get a rookie patch auto right now, I would sell it. I mean, it doesn't really matter who it is. I would sell it because the risk involved with holding it is just too much. Now, if it had been a midway through the basketball offseason, or if it was a football rookie and it was midway through the football offseason, then I would hold it till closer when the season started. But I can't think of any big losses that I've taken. And that's not like bragging by any means. I'm just saying, like, I'm really careful about how I invest my money. And, 90% of my stuff is in vintage, retired. I still play the new market. I would say most of what I do that doesn't make money is just rip and retail product. Like, there's usually very little chance that over time that you're going to have a positive return on investment off retail product. Now, one thing I do to kind of make up for that is I'll take any rookies I get, whether they're, like I said, the big names, and if I was to pull a big name rookie patch auto, I'd sell it. But everybody else, I will separate those out and I'll set those aside, because you get somebody like Giannis or Mike Trout or anybody that down the road becomes a huge player that people really didn't, that wasn't the biggest deal in the world whenever they came out. I mean, it took Giannis, people don't know this. A lot of people don't know this because they've only been in the market for a couple of years. Giannis didn't score over 20 points a game until his fourth year, I think. It was his fourth year out before it was 2018. Let's see, 2013 was Giannis's rookie year. I don't think he scored over 20 points a game until 2017 or 2018. And then I think 2018, he had a pretty good year. It was like 24 or 26 points a game. And then 2019, he blew everybody out of the water and won the league MVP. And that's when everything took off. 2018, 2019. So you have 2013, 2014. He didn't have hardly any minutes. And he didn't have hardly any points. It was ridiculous. I'm going to look him up just because you brought that up. And so everybody's looking for that guy, but those guys only come around like once in a generation. Like, that's what everybody wants, is somebody that's going to come out and have a 100 times return on investment over the course of a year and a half, but that just doesn't happen hardly ever. Let's see. So Giannis's rookie year, 6.8 points a game over 24 minutes. So it's not even like he wasn't playing. 77 games, 24 minutes a game. 7 points, 4.5 rebounds, 2 assists. His second year, 12.7 points. His third year, 16.9 points. His fourth year, 22.9. His fifth year, 26.9. And then 2019's the year. Now, he still had 4 All-Stars because he's an amazing defensive player. But as far as offensive production, what everybody thinks matters now, it really took, it wasn't until his 5th season when people really started taking him seriously. So you look at this, and then when I start telling people about Brandon Ingram, and they're like, I don't like Brandon Ingram. Well, whatever, but look at his stats. Rookie year, 9.4 game, 16.1, 18.3, and 23.8. And so if he improves as much this year, this was his first All-Star year, but he did win the All-Star this year. And if we go back to Giannis, his 4th year was his first All-Star year. He had 22.9 points a game. Now, Brandon Ingram is not the same player as Giannis by any means, but his 4th year is his first All-Star year, and he has more points per game in his 4th year than Giannis. And he still had 6 rebounds and 4 assists. So do I think Brandon Ingram's going to be Giannis? No. But do I think his cards are undervalued? You bet your ass I do. And I think if he comes up out this year and he improves anything close to what he did last year, he's close to 30 points a game. Now, maybe he won't. And maybe he'll get injured. And there's a lot of risk associated with active players. But, look at this improvement over the course of 4 years from the age of 19 to the age of 22. He's by no means close to his prime, and he's seen a drastic improvement. And, another thing to look at is percentages. So his 2-point percentage actually went down this year from last year, but his effective field goal percentage went up, and that might be because he's taken higher risk shots this year than he was the year before. He's in a bigger role. His 3-point percentage has gone up every year but one. From his second year to his third year, it dropped quite a bit, actually, from 39% to 33%. But then it went back up, and it was 39% last year. So I don't understand it, other than the fact that people don't pay attention to who's not right in front of their face. He didn't have much help. Yeah, right. But right, that's exactly right. But Luka's another person that people say didn't have much help, who shot the ball a lot. But he doesn't have near the percentages. Like, he shoots like 31% from the 3 or 32% from the 3. Granted, he's only 20 years old or something like that, 21, whatever. But Brandon Ingram has a higher shot percentage than Luka does, 23.8. I'm just saying, like, people don't pay attention to what's right in front of their face. Whatever's hyped is whatever's hyped. But I think that Brandon Ingram is a big pick for me because I feel like he's overlooked and undervalued. Most improved player this year. I picked up 2 of his premier level courtside rookies, or his premier level select rookies, which is like the middle level. So the base is concourse, and then there's premier level, and then there's courtside. So I picked up 2 of his premier level rookies in good condition, raw, but in good condition, for $22 a piece the other day. Which is, to me, is just insane. Like, that's so cheap. Maybe a card I thought would grade higher but didn't, so there was a small loss. Oh, yeah, I've had plenty of those. I've had plenty of cards that I thought would grade higher than what they did. Um, Nothing too big. Like I had three Mike Trout cards that I sent in a couple years back, like three years ago, probably. And I expected them to come back pretty much exactly like they did. They came back 2 10s and a 9. And I would have been happy if I'd have got 110. And I thought there was a good chance 2 of them would come back a 10. But I also thought there was a good chance not all 3 of them would. I'm getting ready to send some in that I'm skeptical. Like those 1984 Fleer update cards that I'm getting ready to send in, I'm definitely skeptical about. Like, I don't know how they're going to grade. Like, the corners are awesome on them. The surface condition's awesome. The centering is awesome on this Roger Clemens and Kirby Puckett rookies, 1984 Fleer update. The Clemens in a 10, damn it. This thing's backwards. The Clemens in a 10 sells for $1,500, and the Puckett in a 10 out of that set sells for $1,000. And the centering's awesome on them. The corners are awesome. The edges are awesome. The Puckett's a little bit more slightly off color because these were just stark white cards. I really expect these cards to get a 10. But I don't know. We'll see. These Ichiro rookies, I'm sending those in, and we'll see how those come back. But I just want to see how tough they grade them. Like this one here is the best example one I have. It's damn near perfect. So if it comes back a 9, then I'm going to know that it has to be perfect for it to get a 10. Because this card it's a little bit off center. It's a little bit off center. But not much. And I've seen 10s that have been less. This next, and I'm waiting to send these in. I've been holding these for a long time because I'm making a video specifically about going through a third-party service for grading. Now I'll also make videos about doing private submission, but there's a lot of reasons that you might want to go through a third party. And I've been tracking somebody for a while that I think has a great third-party submission service. It's the first time I will have used them, but I've got their permission to make the video and use them in the video. And so I'm waiting to put that I'm planning to put that together, but I want to make it a really good video. So I'll send them in, and they just have great rates, and you can send they have a $75 minimum, but you can send 3 cards to them, and they've got their level that they charge $28 a piece for. They're getting back in 3 months up to a $500 minimum. You can't get that through PSA. Even if you have a collector's club membership, which you can't get the gold or the platinum right now, that has free 20-day grading vouchers. They've shut off 20 days for regular collector's club members, so you can't get that 3-month return time. And even if you could, you have to submit 20 cards of the same age range, whether it's vintage or modern or ultra modern, which is the last 3 years. You have to send in at least 20 cards of the same age range to use their 100-day service, which takes 6 to 8 months right now to get your cards back. So there's a lot of reasons that you want to use a third-party service. If this Clemens comes back at 10, that'll probably be the most expensive card I have right now. I sold a lot of stuff in the last year. In the last couple of years, stuff just started going up. So I don't hold a lot of expensive stuff. And a lot of the stuff that has value to me isn't necessarily expensive. Like I've got and maybe that's what makes me good at this hobby is like what has value to me isn't necessarily expensive. This Mike Piazza rookie card is not my favorite card, but it's just an example of a card that has a lot of value to me. It's his Bowman rookie card. It's a card I had growing up that I've always had since I was like 10 years old. And a PSA 9, it's worth about $40. But is my favorite player throughout the 90s, and that has value to me. I've got this. This is a signed Brooks Robinson baseball and a signed 1971 Topps Brooks Robinson. And this is one of my favorite things that I own. Now, this together, it's not worth that much. I don't know what they're worth. I mean, probably around $300. This set, if I was to sell it, it doesn't matter. But that's one of the favorite things I own. This actually has Lou Brock's signature on it too, and I got this baseball signed in person when I was a kid, and I didn't really know who Brooks Robinson was when I was younger. I knew who Lou Brock was because Lou Brock played for the Cardinals, and I'm from Missouri. So Lou Brock would come around like once a year for like 3 or 4 years in a row when I was a kid and sign stuff, and we'd always go, I thought, when I was growing up, everybody I knew had stuff signed by Lou Brock because he would come around this area, but apparently he didn't do that all over the state or anything like that. And he only did it the years when I was a kid. So, yeah, that's one of my favorite things. I've got a bunch of just junk cards that aren't worth anything. That's just stuff that me and my dad, stuff from when we were collecting. My dad passed away, so that stuff's really valuable to me. And stuff's getting dusty. There's another Lou Brock signed photo. I just had tons of Lou Brock. I probably had 4 baseballs signed by Lou Brock whenever I was a kid. I've got 3 of them over here. George Brett. I got a signed George Brett card. But most of the stuff I have hung up doesn't have a lot of monetary value. And I think that's what makes me good at this hobby is that, what means something to me isn't necessarily what is worth a lot of money. So I can make kind of less emotional decisions when it comes to values on cards. Now, I do plan on having some really high value cards one of these days, but they're cards I want. I'd really like to have a Nolan Ryan rookie. I would really like to have some 1970s basketball stuff. And I'd really like to have some really high dollar 1971 baseball stuff. And my 1971 collection's probably worth over $5,000, I'd say. I just have a lot of it, and I have some good ones. But yeah, as far as individual cards, that Clemens is probably that. If that Ichiro was to come back at 10, that would be a $1,400 card. That Puckett would be $1,000, and that Roger Clemens would be $1,500. And those would be the most expensive cards that I have right now. Let's see. Kind of bummed me out to hear you explain why rookies are the riskiest things to invest in, even for great players like Mahomes, but it was very insightful. Yeah, sorry, man, but that's the case. And it's hard to make that argument right now because really for the last 2 or 3 years, um, the market's done nothing but go up, especially in the last year. I mean, in the last year, you couldn't lose. Like, all you had to do, like, there's no work involved. All you had to do was buy a card and list it for more than what you bought it for and wait a week and it would sell and you made money. So it's easy for a bunch there. You see a lot of channels where guys are like, I made all this money in sports cards. Well, yeah, it was pretty easy this year. Like, it doesn't really, like, and explain why, explain, you know, the principles behind how you made money. Not just, I bought a card of a good player and I listed it for more than what I bought it for and I made money, because that's a once in 20 years type, once in 30 years type thing, market where you run across that. Um, Biggest loss, I thought, yeah, I can't think of like a really big loss. I don't know. I know there have been some, like, I've taken some losses on stuff. But like I say, like individual cards, like I buy a lot of vintage, a lot of vets, stuff that just doesn't really go down in value. It might not go up very fast. Sometimes it does, but it just doesn't go down. Um, yeah, you can't lose if you love what you have. That is the truth, my man. That is the truth. Let's see. Did this ever. It's still saying current bid. This can't be right. Like, it's been way over 30 minutes since. It's been way over 30 minutes. Let's see. It's still saying. Oh, no. Wait. 19 bidders, 434 tracking this card. It's still saying it's live. But it doesn't have a countdown timer, which is kind of weird. This is last minute bids. So if somebody doesn't bid pretty quickly, then it's sold. We'll see what happens. Huh. I've had you guys in here, 4 or 5 guys since this stream started, but there's actually been 55 playbacks of this stream. That's something that really amazes me. Like, you all haven't been the only ones, like, watching this stream. There's been 55 playbacks, and the average playback was, average person watched for like 10 minutes, which, like, Jesse's been in here for 3 hours now, so that makes up for a lot of the people that probably joined and like left, but which I really appreciate that. But that's always interesting to me. Like, people do come and go, so I think this has got to be about done. Tell you what, guys, I'm gonna take another 5-minute break. I'm gonna put this up and leave it up on the intermission. And I'll be back here in just a little bit. What's up? What's up? What's up? Keeps saying last minute bids on this auction. But I swear it has been at this same price for an hour. So I don't. It's got to be closed. Wait, it said something there about an hour. That's the regular signature internet extended bids. Okay, so it's only people that bid on it up to the regular closing time that are able to participate in the extended bid. But then it goes until there are no more bids for 30 minutes. And that's it. It should be closed. I don't know. It's not showing it's closed. It's showing it's still open. Extended bidding period. Weird. My brothers have me explain why it's better to invest in Select for high name players than Prism, and I'm tired. Feels like I'm writing a paper. Yeah. Is he there? Like, I would be happy to explain why I feel like Select is better than Prism. And it's all based on population. So long-term population's what matters. You know, if you look at sets or inserts from the 80s and 90s, or even inserts from now, like look at parallels. Like the reason a Giannis Silver sells for 30 grand isn't just because people like it. The reason a Giannis Silver sells for 30 grand, a Giannis Prism Rookie Silver, is because there's a lot less of them than the base cards. Like there's only, I think, maybe 250, because 2012 Prism, they didn't make that much. As opposed to, like Luka Prism, Silver Prisms, there's like 2,500. Not 2012, 2013 was Giannis. So it's economics, it's supply and demand, which doesn't always necessarily doesn't matter as much when their players are young and it's their new years and there's a lot of hype and all that stuff. But as time goes on, it matters more and more. And when you get it, once you get into later on, after players are retired, like population is king. Like, you know, there are a lot of sets like Topps Tiffany from the 80s and Fleer Ultra, that 84 Fleer Ultra set. And even when you get into like early 90s, like Desert Shield cards and micros and different stuff like that, where there's just less of them. So anybody that wants a Chipper Jones 1992 Desert Shield variation, or they want a Barry Bonds Topps Tiffany 1987 glossy, they're going to have to pay, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 times more for them, because the amount of people that want them is a lot higher than the amount that are available. Whereas, you know, 10 years down the road, will there still be 16,000 people or 20,000 people that want a 2018 Luka base Prism enough to pay $1,800 for it. In my opinion, considering what LeBron and Giannis sell for, and they're much lower amounts of those cards, I would say there's no stats that he can put up. There's no level he can attain or achieve that to where those cards are worth that much money in the long term. Now, short term, it's based on hype and all that stuff. But in the medium, even to long term, like it's all population is king. You know, there's a 1990s Fleer Metal Red Ruby Fleer Ultra from like 96 or 97 Jordan that sells for like 400 grand. And it's just because there aren't hardly any of them. You know, when you get into one of ones, like the one of one LeBrons are like $2 million cards, they just sold for like 1.8 million. But also in 2003, there were a lot less one of ones. So how much is a one of one worth whenever there's 40 of them now or 50 of them or whatever? Probably not as much. Probably not as much. Now those like NBA Shield patch one of ones, like that's a little bit different, because that's just defined as the king of, you know, but not all of those are one of ones, but the ones that are, it's like that's the king of one of one rookie patch autos is the NBA Shield patch. So we'll see, but those cards are very rare, and even now they go for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So base Giannis from 2013, there are 2,400. So compared to 16,000 Zions and Luka base prisms, there's about 7 times more of those than there are of Giannis base prisms. And Giannis base prism only goes for $3,500. I say only, I mean that's a lot of money, but you know it's not 8 times more than or 7 times more than a Zion or a Luka. So that tells me that these modern cards in the long term are overvalued. And you get into silvers, of course, in 2013 they're just called prisms, so that's your silver. There are 75 Giannis silvers, right? And they go for 30 grand right now, but there's 75 compared to 2,500 Lucas, and that's just what's been graded so far. Like that number keeps going up every day. There's still a lot of product that hasn't been opened yet. There's still a lot of cards that are in the middle of being graded that haven't been recorded yet. So, you know, in my mind, considering there's 30 times, 35 times more Lucas silvers than there are Giannis silvers, and the Giannis is going for 30 grand. Like the fact that a Luka is going for 8,000 is just insane, you know? And that's just the way it is. Like people don't agree with that and they get mad when I say that, but it's a fact. Like I've been in this game for a long time. Like there's either Giannis is undervalued, Giannis silvers are undervalued at 30 grand, or Luka's drastically overvalued. It's one or the other. It's not both. Like it's not a fair market value. Like that's not, it's just popularity, it's hype, and it's what's happened this year, but it's not sustainable. But when you go to Select, if you go to 2018 Select, so there's 15, 16,000 Lucas prisms, but if you go to 2018 Select, there's a lot less. Now Select was only released in a hobby format, so there was no Walmart or Target retail release of Select. It's only released in a hobby format and has been up to now. And Select was the premium product up until basically 2018, But you go to 2018 Select Luka base, this is the concourse, the base. and there's 1,100 of them, and those only sell for like $800. And I think, considering there's 1,100, that's a pretty fair price. Like, that's actually very fair, and there's a lot better chance that Select being only a hobby product, that more of those have already been graded, you know, than the Prisms, or than the Prism. And there's just a lot fewer. 1,100 is a very low number compared. I mean, it's 15 times lower than what his base Prisms are, you know. So, and I think it's, for today's market, you know, that is $800, which I think that's what they're going for. Let me look. Is a pretty fair price for how good Luka is. Now, that doesn't take into consideration whether he plays as well as he did last year, or whether he gets injured, or yada yada yada, all the stuff that comes along with a young active player. But you know, for how he's performed, I think that's really fairly cheap. I wonder what his Premier level. So there's Concourse Premier is like the next most rare. Like, it's the parallel that's a little bit more rare than the Concourse. And then there's the Courtside, which is a lot more rare than the base Concourse. And they're all in kind of like part of the base set, but they're less or more rare. So, let's see. Select Luka PSA 10. And let's go to sold listings. You always want to go to sold listings, and you always want to filter by ended recently, so it shows you the most recent price. So the Premier level, which are even more rare, are going for not even $1,000 right now. And there's only 429 PSA 10s of the Premier level. That seems cheap to me. The Courtside, here's a silver Courtside. It was a best offer of $29,000, which is, who knows what it actually went for. Wow, here's a 9.5 BGS Concourse Silver for $2,000. The same. Oh gosh, that's a Premier Silver for $3,000, which is still a lot of money. Like, that's a lot of money. So yeah, the Concourse, the regular base Concourse, are going for close to $900 right now. And I think for no more than how many there are, there's a Premier for $1,000. Oh my gosh, to me that's cheap. For 450 in population, that's actually cheap for how good he is. And all it would take is for 1 year, the star, the big rookie, like for instance, this year, if Anthony Edwards came out and he tore it up, and that's possible, he tore it up, and people decided, I like his Select rookie, and I want his Select rookie more than I do his Prism rookie. If that happened this year, then suddenly that transfers over, and people start looking at, oh my gosh, like, Luka Select is super cheap, and then, oh my gosh, there's very few of them out there. And if that happens, since there's a lot lower population, then that price goes up a lot faster, because suddenly a bunch of people want them and there aren't that many available. Now, I'm not saying that'll happen, and $800, $1,000 is a lot of money to spend on a card, but man, like, that seems, for his caliber in today's market, that seems super cheap to me. And I like Select as a card better than I do Prism. And the fact that there's a lot lower population, like I said, long term, that's what matters, is population. There's one PSA 10 silver Luka. One? There's one of the Concourse. How many of the Premiers is there? That can't be right. One silver Prism. No, that wasn't right. That wasn't right. Yeah, it is. That's what it says. One silver Concourse Prism. So the Premier Silvers, what? There's 161 Premier Silvers, but only one Concourse? That's weird. That can't be right. Only 153 courtside, which is about right. There's about 3 times more of the Premier level than there are the courtside. And 34 courtside silvers. One Concourse silver. That can't be right. That's got to be something wrong on their end. There's 5 zebras. And zebras are super hard to pull. There's only been 8 graded total. That can't be right. There's no way that's right. You explain to him 2018-2019 select Luka Doncic 122 Premier PSA 10 429. Oh, you're on it, Jesse. Oh my gosh, you are on it. So the Premier PSA 10 is at 429, and Star Stock gives it a value of $3K in a BGS 9.5. Why? Like, why does Star Stock give it a $3,000 value when they're selling for $1,000 right now on eBay? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know much about Star Stock. I just don't like any of the new trading sites. So, not that they're bad, but I just don't pay much attention to them. I think they promote short-term and flipping. I mean, I know they do. And so I'm not the biggest fan. Doesn't make them bad. Doesn't mean I'm right. But I don't pay a lot of attention to them. But why would they value it at $3,000 if they're selling for $1,000 right now? 2018. Maybe they're saying that's their prediction of the ceiling of this card, which is also kind of a dumb thing to say. It's misleading. It's like so many people do that. So the court side, there's a 153 pop count. eBay, they're selling for $6,000 and $9,000 Star Stock value. All base. Huh. Man, you are on top of it, Jesse. I like that, man. You're doing your research. That is awesome. That is awesome. That is really cool. I hope you've learned something from this channel. That would just that would be awesome to me. But anyways, I think that's awesome that you're doing all that research on your own, finding out those. I'm glad you're keeping track of that Star Stock. I don't understand why they're priced so much higher than what the eBay sales are. I mean, eBay sales are real life examples of this is what people are willing to pay for a card, so I don't get that. But also, like, I don't care enough to look into sites like that for the one, and this is just me, this is my personal opinion, and I'm just being honest. I don't care enough to look into sites like that, and I honestly don't. For me, they're not worth looking into because that's not my business. My business is not flipping. It's not like necessarily short term. Not that, if I'm holding a Brandon Ingram PSA 10 Premier level select and it goes, it's selling for $500. It's not that I wouldn't sell it for $500. It's just that, like, that's not my mentality. I've taught you a lot. That's awesome. That makes it worth it. That is impressive, dude. Like, that right there is really impressive. To me, I mean, I think it is. I love to see that. Like, that's what everybody should be doing. Is looking for value. Like, that is what will make you in this business. Like, just like, you look at the player and how they play. It's like just like looking at Brandon Ingram's progression, but then also, like, look at the cards. That's what this business is all about. And you even find that with vintage and stuff, just like those Ichiros. I keep telling people about those Ichiros, and I wish I didn't, because I really want to keep buying those sets for, like, super cheap. And I feel like that's going to go. Not that I have a huge fan base, but I've been telling people about it that have bigger fan bases. And, they're just super cheap right now. I'd like to buy 100 of them for 10 grand. I'd spend 100 or 10 grand on those. I mean, I probably wouldn't, but I'd definitely spend $1,000 on 10 of them. I'm glad. That is super cool, dude. That is super cool. I would like to see a lot more of that. So tell me, so you keep up on Star Stock? Like, what is that about? I'm going to look it up just to see what. Like, I know a little bit about it. Like, you send them your cards. Like, they only deal in rookie cards. And then they put a grade on them of like an A, B, or C. And now they've started doing PSA submissions. So if you have a Star Stock A, they will send it off for you to get graded, but you never look at it. So, I mean, I guess you look at it before you send it to them, if you send it to them, but also you can buy those cards raw from other people, and then you never really look at it, and they just tell you whether it's a 9 or better, and then they'll send it off for grading. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, and it's a good service to offer. Just learned about it the other day and still need to do more research on it. I'm glad you think about it that way, man. Because, there's a lot of people right now that have gotten into this hobby that do no research. Like, they just, well, this is what I like. I mean, and not just young people, like a lot of grown men in their 40s, that are divesting their 401ks and putting them into sports cards, but, and I think a lot of them don't even know that there's research to be done. Like, they're not told that. They just go watch some video where some guy says buy Trae Young, and they buy Trae Young. It's like a card archive used to hold your cards, and then you can buy, sell without having to constantly ship because they don't auto ship you the card. And right. Yeah, so COMC is the same way, like COMC, COMC, and I use them, and it's the same thing. Now, they deal in all cards, like it's not just rookie cards. And they used to do BGS submissions, but they shut those off because of wait times and stuff like that. Allows you to buy and own a card within seconds, and you can sell it seconds after. Yeah. Yeah. I'm interested in what happens to a company like that after the market goes back to anything close to what would be normal. I think baseball is going to have a big year this year. I really think baseball is going to have a big year this year because you're going to see the regular off seasons of basketball and football, and a lot of people are going to sell, when the season gets over, just like they did this year. It just so happens that basketball picked up so quick this year, there really wasn't an off season. But this year there should be. If COVID doesn't get in the way, there'll be a regular off season, and there'll be big sell-offs. And I think a lot of that money is going to go into baseball. I think there's a good chance a lot of that money will go into baseball, and baseball will have a big year this year, which they don't normally. Baseball's never like that. It's gone up over the last few years, but nothing like let's take let's see here, APR 2018 select Lucas. Let's just look at Lucas. Let's go to base, concourse, select, Luca, PSA 10. Oh my gosh. So even in 2019, this is only 20. Well, yeah, it's only a 2-year-old card. But okay. In June, you could buy this card for $350. And now it's $900. This does not make sense when the whole market, I feel like Select is just being completely slept on. Completely. Hoops cards have gone up more than this. How is this a thing? These must be silvers. These are silvers right here. They're not regular. Those are outliers. This is crazy. All right, let's look at Prism, though, and then I'll compare it to Mike Trout's. All right, so... so, Pop Report. No auction prices. Auction prices. 2018 Prism. Basketball. What? Oh, yeah. And then where's my search? Prism Luka. Basketball. Okay, so there's the base Prism Luka. No, it's not. That's not right. Is it? Yeah. This says 14,906. I think they're regular Pop Report. Oh, this is how many sales. So there's been 15,000 sales on record. Average sale price $17.50. Okay, but look at this chart. Oh, that's... Never mind. Hold on. Luka 280. Why won't it let me... It's not letting me pick... Hold on a second. It has to think for a minute. PSA's website can be a little bit difficult to navigate sometimes, especially when you're trying to look up the charts. But it's not too bad. That's just 10s. Okay, this is the 10 chart. So it doesn't look this ridiculous in a year-long format. Or a 2-year format. But since January, in January you could buy Luka base for 200. And now they're, let's see what June. In June, Luka base was $695, and now they're 18, so they've gone up about 3 times. So I guess Select's going up about the same. Like you could buy it for $350 in June, and it's selling for $1,000 right now. So they've gone up about the same. Well, 800. It's selling for $878, so 900. They've gone up pretty much about the same, I guess. But there's so much less population at Select. Oh my gosh. But now let's look at Mike Trout. 2011 Topps update. Baseball. Why is it not giving me... Oh, I know. Okay. 2011 Topps update. Baseball. I guess you have to go through Pop Report and then go to APR. Baseball, Topps update. There are quite a few Trouts too, actually. Topps update is considered like a low population set because it's the update set, and traditionally it was low population, but It's not really. I mean, there's 5,000 Trout 10s compared to like 1,300. 1987 Topps Barry Bonds is considered like the epitome of junk wax cards, but there's only like 1,300 10s. There's like 4 times more Mike Trout 10s. Not that it's the same card or should be looked at the same way. They're not the same player, but it does, long term, it does have an effect. Let's see here. So, like, for instance, here, this is where you'll see, like, some messed up stuff. So, like, Probstein sold this card, which is a card with a signature on it, for $9,000. Which that guy really knows how to make money. He probably had like 100 of these cards, and he went to a signing and paid for Mike Trout to sign 100 of these cards. So this card went up a lot from December 2019 to May of 2019, which is interesting. I mean, baseball cards do that. So, like, that's why I tell everybody, like, buy in January, right? So this card's going up for years, right? Like, even back in 2018, you could buy them for $600. I guess I sold mine. This can't be right. Because I know I sold mine in the beginning of 2019. And I sold mine for like $1,200 a piece, and that's what they were basically what they were going for. They were going for like a little over 1,000, and I was sold mine for $1,250 a piece. And then they went up to 3,600, and now they're down like 2,375 in November, and you will see that go down between now and January, like after Christmas, that'll go down some more, I think, but since January of this year, like I say, okay, so like look at this, all right, so you go through October, November 11, 13, then they're back down, then November 14th they're up 1,200. Get close to Christmas, they should go up a little bit, and they do a little bit. They go back up above 1,000, and then, well, I guess that's weird. It's just weird. January they went up. Normally in January, baseball cards bottom out, kind of. So like you see in August here, they're selling for 600, and then you get to January past Christmas and they're 500, 525. Then you get into the preseason, and this affects like not only like this year's cards, but it affects basically all baseball cards. It's always cheaper to buy them in January and sell them in August. So like even in 2019, you're looking at 500, and by June, halfway through the season, they're at 850. So I don't know. It's hard to show on a graph of a single card, but so do I consider that a loss that you let go of Trout too soon? No, not at all. I'm very happy with what I got out of those cards. Very happy with what I got out of those cards. Because I think it was like it was like right after baseball season started in 2019. After the season started, and if Mike Trout had got injured, those cards would have nosedived. At least for that year. Now, long term, they would have held some value. If he came back and he played well, they would have went back up. But, I made a lot of money off those cards, considering what I had in them, which was very little. And, so, no, I definitely don't consider that a loss. I'm very happy with how that went. And I think that's, like, people have fear of missing out on both ends. So when a card starts going up, they have fear of missing out. So even if they think the card's overvalued, they see it going up and they buy because they have fear of missing out on the potential of that card, right? And then they don't sell. Like, they could double their money, but even making like 30%, 50% on a decent card, like a $500 card, you buy a card for $300 and you sell it for $500. Like, that's a good return on investment. And definitely if you can double your money on a card, like, a lot of people would say take it and get out. I just say have a strategy. Like, when you get into a card, especially if it's a significant amount of money, whatever that means for you, have a strategy to get out whenever you get into it. If you're looking at it from an investment standpoint. If you're looking at it as a collectible, like maybe you never want to sell that card and you don't care what the price of it does. But I would just say have a strategy. So, I'm going to hold these cards. You get to the point to where you've got a profit in them and maybe it's in the season and you're waiting for a big game or something like that. But no, I don't look back on stuff like that. Like, I'm going to take that money and I'm going to reinvest it in something else that I feel like is a better investment anyways, because I'm always finding little hidden gems and stuff like that. And so, no, definitely not. I have to learn to accept I don't need to win every auction. Yeah, I get fear of missing out sometimes. Yeah, for sure. That goes away. Like, once you have, if you do more research and you realize there's a lot of good opportunities out there, then that makes you a lot more stingy and not willing to pay. The more you understand about the value of the market and cards and stuff like that, the more stingy you are and the more you're not willing to pay, because, if that card goes up more tomorrow, there's something else. Like, don't get emotionally attached to it. I mean, if it's something you want as a personal collection or something like that, it's whatever. Like, make decisions or whatever and move on. But yeah, I don't like overpaying for stuff because there's just too much good stuff out there. Like, I just want to spend all my money on 2001 Topps baseball right now. But also, there's like, I was looking at 1987 Fleer Glossy that's super cheap right now, and then 1992 Topps sets. So 1992 is the Shaq rookie year, and I feel like the sets are a lot better value than the boxes. So 1992 Topps basketball Series 1 is the Shaq card, 1 box. Pretty sure it's Series 1. Alright, so those are Stadium Club. No, it must be Series 2. So the Shaq, I think in the PSA 10, the Shaq goes for like maybe $1,500, maybe. Ah, shit. So 1992, the Shaq PSA 10 is selling. Maybe it's not selling for that much. Okay, just the regular Shaq PSA 10 selling for $300. The gold PSA 10 is selling for like something crazy. The retail boxes have 1 gold. Oh, that's a rack pack box. Those are $405. The gold, which was like a parallel insert, I think they're selling for like $3,000 right now. That's the Archives Gold rookie. That came out of the Archives Gold set. No way a 9.5 Shaq gold is $600 right now. That's more like, okay, so the golds are going for $1,850. That's so low for Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal was so good. Ugh. But anyways, yeah, the gold Shacks were going for more. Now they're going for like, why are the 9.5s going for so much less? They're going for like less than half of what the PSA 10s are. I should be buying those and cracking them and resubmitting them for sure. That's ridiculous. Like 50% of 9.5s are going to grade out of 10 or something like that. There is no reason those should be selling for that. How much is a PSA 9 Shaq Gold selling for? Because that's what you take in consideration. Like, if you can buy a 9.5, okay, they're only selling for $200. All right, so that kind of makes sense. So if you submit a bunch of them and some of them come back 9s and some of them come back 10s, you're losing quite a bit on the 9s as compared to the 9.5s. That makes sense. But anyways, the hobby boxes, Series 2 box, have 36 packs and are going for, in good condition, like close to $300. See, that one's a sealed BBCE rack box, which rack packs had more cards in them. Well, these have actually gone up a little bit. But anyways, yeah, they're going, dang. Unopened box. Oh, the box and seal are ripped on top. The good condition boxes are going for like $300. The sets, okay, so good condition, regular box has 36 pack. Each pack has a gold card in it. Out of, I think there were 200 cards in Series 2. So 36 gold cards and I need to look that up too. This might be getting super boring, but I'm going to look it up. $19.92 tops. So this is what I do when I'm looking at unopened product, trying to find PSA 10s in an unopened product. So $92.93 tops. Oh, 396 card set. Okay. 396 cards. So Series 2 was only like 200 cards. Yeah, Series 2 is $199 through $396. And a hobby box has 36 packs. And does it have 10 cards per pack? There's one Topps Gold in every pack. 36 count. Why doesn't it say this stuff on the outside? Makes for more work. Actually, let's just look up. So anyways, those are going for like 300 in good condition, where the sets were going for like 75. Now they're going for 100, but still, like, if there's 10 cards, then you would average 2 Shaqs in a hobby box and 36 golds. All right, but the set, you're guaranteed a Shaq and 12 golds. There's 12 golds, random golds inserted into a set, which is out of 200, so it's like, no, out of 400. 12 golds out of 400. So I guess those 36 are out of Series 2, so that would be like 15% of the Series 2 set. So if you would get a Shaq out of about every 6 boxes, out of about every 6 boxes, you would get 12 Shaq base rookies and 1 Shaq gold rookie. Now, those have to come back in a PSA 10. So you would spend $1,800 on those boxes. Now, there's Jordans in there. There's other cards that are worth grading. But if that 1 Shaq gold came back in a PSA 10, then that would pay for all of those boxes. Anyways, those are a good value right now. And the Jordans and the Shaqs are only going to go up. And there's other cards out of there that they're only going to go up. So how is retail value determined? I guess however I decide. However I decide. Now, I am going to try to, like I said, I plan on starting a video series called Unopened that just dives deep into one unopened product. All right? And so it shows how you can value. So it goes through, this is how many cards are in the set. This is how many cards are in a pack. This is how many base cards you should expect. So this is your odds of getting one of these cards. And these are the valuable cards in that set. And just take the ones that have a reasonable value, are worth grading. So cards that are going for $60 or more in a PSA 10, right? So this is your odds of getting these cards. This is how much they're worth. So take the odds times the value. That gives you a price. All right? And then these are the parallels. These are the odds of getting a parallel. This is how much the parallels are worth. Whether raw or graded, I don't know how I'll do that. So that gives you a price. And then, what's your actual value? What's your expected return on an unopened product, right? So that's a calculation that can be done. Then you obviously you have inserts in some unopened hobby boxes and stuff that you can take into account, but mainly parallels. So I'll do it on 2018 Prism, and I'll do it on 2018 Select, or whatever, 2019 Mosaic, or whatever, but I'll also do it on 2014 Prism. And I'll do it on 2009 Topps, James Harden rookie year. And I'll do it on 2003, whatever, Topps Chrome. I'll do it on 2001 Topps Baseball. I'll do it on 1992 Topps Shaq rookie year. Do a bunch of different unopened product and, dive deep into a value determination of that product. I think people would. I think if I could do it in an entertaining way, that people would really like those videos. And I'm kind of trying to learn how to do that in an entertaining way, having more transitions, more graphics, having a better flow. And part of it's just my equipment's not that great. I record on my phone, which isn't bad. Or phones record in 4K, 30 FPS, the newer iPhones. My mic's not that great, but I could get a better mic for fairly cheap. But it doesn't matter. That has a real value to people, a serious value, being able to look at that and make an informed decision and learn how to value that stuff themselves. That has a real value, and so that's definitely something I want to get into. And I'll be honest with you, right now with my channel, I want to get to the point where I'm monetized. You have to have, that's the first step. So you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of public watch time. So how much time all the views and all the time people have actually watched any percentage of your videos. You have to have 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers. And so right now I'm doing a lot of stuff like the short videos and the live streams. I enjoy doing the live streams and I'll keep doing them, but part of the benefit of that is a guaranteed 10 to 15 hours of live. If I do a 3-hour live stream, it's guaranteed to be a 10 to 15 hours of watch time. So that all adds up. Doing some longer videos to help get watch time. Doing some things a little bit differently, but once I get to that point, I want to be developed. Now it doesn't matter as much. I'm still learning how to make videos. I'm still learning how to edit videos. I'm still learning about thumbnails. I'm still learning about affiliate marketing and all kinds of stuff. But, once I get to a certain point, then I'll have learned a lot of that stuff and I'm making better videos. And then I can really concentrate on producing high quality, high value content for people. So your first question, how is retail value determined? Because Panini does like a decreasing auction sale to get their price. Yes, that's how they do it. It's called a Dutch auction. They start at a certain price, and every 5 minutes it goes down a certain amount until they're all sold. So that just takes advantage of fear of missing out. And it's a really creepy way to sell baseball or to sell cards. Sorry, I always divert to like saying baseball cards. When I was growing up, like that was it. It was like baseball cards. And also do sided like cardboard collects sites like cardboard collects display retail or resale prices. You mean cardboard connection? Yeah, cardboard connection. I think resale. I think they directly link to eBay. Do you have an Instagram for the channel yet? Haha, sounds cheesy, but the follow. And shout outs do help, especially a guy like you that has valuable content. I do. Like, you can look up Card Collex on Instagram. I do have an Instagram channel, but I haven't. Like, I know how to create followers on Instagram. Like, by going through following certain people, going in and seeing who liked somebody's video. Well, that person, if they're willing to like a post, then they're more willing to they're engaged, they're active members. They don't just have an account that they never look at. So they're more likely to follow for follow. Then you go in and you look at the people that liked their posts and you follow them and back and forth. And I'm pretty good at it, and I can get like, I could probably get 1,000 followers on Instagram in like, I don't know, a couple weeks, maybe a month, if I wanted to. And I should, and I probably will at some point in time, but I just haven't. Actually, Instagram can turn into a pretty valuable revenue stream. And so at some point, I need to start doing that more and build up my Instagram. Right now, I haven't followed anyone. I have like 79 followers or something like that. But I also haven't posted very much valuable content. And I know of a way I can do that and make money off of it. Like, create a revenue stream out of it. But yeah, like there's a Card Collex Instagram channel. I just haven't started posting much stuff. There's also a TikTok. Like my TikTok does pretty well. I have like 500 followers on TikTok. And a lot of my short videos on here are also on TikTok. It makes it really easy because I can make a short video for here and then I just repost it on TikTok. I just like put it on Google Drive and then upload it to my phone and repost it. So I edit it in Premiere, make it a pretty good video. It's really easy to just put it on YouTube, download it to my phone, upload it on TikTok, yada, 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 bing, bang, boom. Suddenly you got a TikTok video. Yeehaw. So yeah, I definitely want to focus on that stuff more. But YouTube's where it's at too. That's the thing. Is like my main focus is for YouTube. That has the most potential of getting me to being able to do this full time, which is what I really want. And so that's where most of my time's spent. Instagram can take up a lot of time. It can take up a lot of time, especially when you're just building. Like once you get to the point, even posting, like really to gain traction on Instagram, you need to be posting like 3 times a day. And for me, it's kind of like something I have to like consciously think about. Like, okay, it's 11 o'clock. I need to post Instagram. Okay, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I need to post to Instagram. Okay, it's 9 o'clock at night. I need to post to Instagram. Do you see the new sports card investor app? Nope. Nope, haven't seen it. I heard he was coming out with an app. I heard him say something about it somewhere, that he was coming out with an app. I know he did like a free trial this week of, you mean the market movers? I know he did a free trial this week for people that were signed up for the virtual. I don't know how that guy organizes all that stuff. I know he's got like a huge operation. And, but no, I haven't seen the app. You're kind of trolling me, Jesse. You know what you're doing. Instagram's very time consuming. In general, to build a following, the spam posting is the key, according to Gary Vee. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. For Instagram to show people your stuff, and TikTok too, like if you really want to build a following on TikTok, not as much on TikTok. Like TikTok's cool with you posting like a few times a week. But on Instagram, yeah, if you want them to promote your stuff, like without paying them to do it, like you really need to be posting like 3 times a day, and at 11 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and 9 o'clock in the evening. And your hashtags need to be right. Your hashtag game needs to be pretty good. Same with TikTok, but TikTok's a little different. Yeah, free trial starting Wednesday to Friday. Didn't use it. Didn't feel like I needed to. That's my main thing. Is like a vast majority of people like can get that information for free and don't need to pay for something like that. And the fact, I don't know about the app, but the fact that the desktop version is $50 a month, like, it's priced fairly for who it's for. And it's for, like, dealers or people that are dealing in lots of cards every day. That's who it's for. So you can go in there and easily price, like, easily go in there, type in any card, see the charts, see the average price for the last 30 days, and set a price. Bing, bang, boom. eBay priced, yada, yada. You don't have to go through all the other steps. That's who it's for. But it's being sold to people that look up 10 cards a week that don't need it. And, like, all you need to do is learn how to look the cards up yourself. You absolutely, like, in my mind, and I don't have much experience with it, like, the average person absolutely does not need to be paying $50 a month for something like that. Spend your money however you wish, but that's how that's who it's being sold to. And lots of people think they have to have it, that they have to have apps. Like, that's what you need. If you're going to be in sports cards, you need that. Absolutely not. You absolutely do not. All that information is available for free. And Jesse, you really know how to get me going, you know it? The app's free and basically just organizes eBay listings. Only cool thing, it has a small 2-stat chart of the card value percentage fluctuation within the past 7 months and past 30 days. Oh, it's free? Well, that's cool. I mean, if it's free and it does, like, put. I mean, it's free for the next 3 days or, like, it's free all the time. Like, I could see that having value, some value, if it's free. Um, like, if you have to pay for it, no. Like, I don't think so. And also, like, yeah, it's free, but they make a lot of money off that. I'm not going to get into how, but I know they do. Like, even giving it to you free, like, they're making a lot of money off of it. Not that that's a bad thing, and not that it's still good, it's still free to the people and stuff like that. But, yeah, it's not a charity by any means. But yeah, I mean, anybody can do this on their own in a very short amount of time. And before I was doing YouTube, I'd just do it on my phone, like just sitting in the recliner, goofing off, watching a game or something. Look at eBay, go to PSA on my phone, look up pop reports. Go to Trading Guard database, look up different sets, look up stats. I mean, super easy. Well, it doesn't, like, it's free. Permanently free, but really it's just simplified eBay for only sports cards. No big chart like you'd find on Market Movers. That's cool. That is free. So can you click on the link and will it take you to eBay then? That is cool. It's free. So, it's something. It's something. Um, and good for them. Like, I mean, he's able to, like, organize all that stuff. Yeah, you click on it, it takes you to eBay. Yeah, I figured. I kind of knew that. Um, and they are investing a lot of money. I mean, they got a whole team of people, and get all these events together and make computer programs, and I don't even know. It's too much for my blood, you know. But like I said, like I can't do that, and I'll never be able to do that, and it wouldn't be my thing. Like it's not my thing. Um, if like all I can do is do my research and like I said, try to produce the best quality, most valuable content that I can. Yeah, he's low key smart for jumping on this. Not the craziest app, but he is the first to do it and the best at it. He's definitely the most popular. Um, yeah, he's kind of the only one in the space. I mean, he's not the. I don't know. There's Card Ladder. There's Slab Socks. Like there's others. I'm not promoting them in any way, and I don't use those products. But there are others. Um, but yeah, he's definitely capitalized on it. Definitely has jumped on it, like, and ridden this sucker out. Um, so he's pretty smart for doing that, for sure. It was like really smart move. It worked out, you know. Predicted that this, and he's been doing it not just this year. He's been doing it since before that. But, like I said, I'm not promoting it, and I never will. I mean, unless they drastically change their like how they represent the hobby, yeah, I'll never promote it or anything like that Because it's just unnecessary to the average collector. And that's who I speak to, is the average collector. Like, there's no dealers coming on watching my YouTube videos, and there probably never will be. Maybe there will. That'd be cool. But yeah, that's not who I speak to. I speak to your average investor, and I don't think your average investor needs tools like that. And more than that, like not only do I think you don't need it, but I think it's kind of counterproductive. It's kind of like it puts you in the mentality every time you open that program of that short-term investing mentality. And that's another reason why it's mainly for dealers. Like, that's where it creates a lot of value, is when I can just open that up, price a product, look at the last 6 months of sale or 3 months of sales or month of sales on eBay without having to sort through a bunch of garbage, and price that product and move on to the next one. You know, for that purpose, it provides a lot of value. But it's not sold as that. It's sold as this short-term investing and flipping, like, cheat code. And it's not. Like, it's your average investor doesn't need that. And so anyways, that's who I speak to, and that's the advice that I give. Whatever. Yeah, I feel like doing all this work helps me make me a more well-rounded mind. Yeah, in this world. Yep. And there's a lot more value in that form of doing it than just looking at a chart. And, like, I don't know, like, maybe Market Movers links to PSA pop reports, and maybe it links to, like, news, and maybe it links to trading card database, maybe it links to stats, maybe it links to all that stuff. But I'll go back to it, and I'll keep going back to it. That's not how it's being sold. It's being sold as the cheat code for flippers and short-term investors, of looking at a chart and deciding, like, this is the card you should buy because it's trending upwards. So I'm done. Like, I'm done with that topic, but you know how I feel. Like, it's just me and you talking on here. Eventually, maybe somebody will watch this on a replay of a live stream, and maybe they'll get pissed off, and maybe they'll appreciate it. But yeah, let's see. I wonder if this card ever sold. Yeah, it's sold. It's closed. Well, I'm getting tired, bud. I gotta bow out. After a couple of hours, I get tired. I even get tired of listening to myself talk. So, I think there's somebody else in here. So, I'm gonna bow out. Thank you all very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Best of luck with everything. Jesse, I'm really impressed by all that work you're doing. That's really impressive. There aren't a lot of people that are willing to do that. Even if they know how to do it, and most people don't know how to do it. And for you being young and new kind of to the hobby, that's impressive. And that will gain you a lot of value in the long term. Because people just don't want to do it, even if they know how to. This was fun. Cool. I'm glad you had a good time. I did too. I always do. I really enjoy live streaming. Like, even if it's just me and you, and, a couple other people join in or whatever, that's cool. Like I said, Saturday, I think I'll probably do that box break. So, and then I'll probably do that Saturday. I probably won't live stream. I might. I don't know if... Nah, I probably won't live stream the video on Sunday, the giveaway on Sunday. I'll probably just make the video about the giveaway. I guess I probably should live stream it for picking the winner or whatever, and I might. We'll see. Yeah, I probably will. I'll probably just jump on and live stream the giveaway winner and then make a video out of it. I don't know if it'll stay on that long. I think it is kind of better to live stream picking the winner, even though, like, I'm giving something away. Like, I don't have to, but it probably is better. It probably looks better. Yeah. All right, bud. Thanks a lot. I'm going to get some sleep and then get to work tomorrow, try to pump out. I'm going to take some of these live streams and cut some of the better sections out of them and make videos out of those. And then I've got a couple others I want to make. So Jesse's down for whatever. You the man. All right, bud. I'll catch you later.